A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Detecting and preventing fraud in banks involves a combination of surveillance, management controls, and audits. And under this backdrop, this gives an immense pleasure to welcome you all today on behalf of the Banking, Financial Services and Insurance Board of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India to the blended seminar on practical aspects of surveillance, management, control, and audit expectations for early detection and prevention of all size fraud in banks and way forward for CMAs to become insolvency professional at our headquarters, Kolkata today. And this hybrid event will highlight the various facets in our first technical session. In the second technical session, we will delve deep the mechanism by which CMAs can become insolvency professional by passing the limited insolvency examination. We are glad to inform that this program is also aired on the YouTube channel of the Institute to reach its students, members, and other stakeholders across India and overseas. We are extremely honored today to have with us eminent speakers, Shri Subroto Mukherjee, former additional CVO, State Bank of India, and CMA J.K. Budhiraja, CEO, ICMAI, MARF, who will be deliberating in the technical sessions today. We welcome both of our speakers today. Today we are also blessed by a galaxy of important personalities of the Institute. We are honored with the gracious presence of our past presidents, CMA Amol Kumar Das Sir, CMA Horijiban Banerjee Sir, CMA Mahesh Shah Sir, CMA Abhijit Datta Sir. He is the Chairman, Professional Development, EIRC, ICMAI. And CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay Sir. He is the Chairman of the BFSIB Board of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and also Chairman, Internal Audit and Assurance Standards Board, and our Secretary of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CMA Kaushik Banerjee Sir. So, we welcome all of you. So, we will start the program with the lighting of the lamp. So, I will request our eminent speakers, our past presidents, CMA Abhijit Datta Sir, CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay Sir, CMA Kaushik Banerjee Sir, to please start the program with the lighting of the lamp. And also I would request to play the Institute anthem, please. May I request all to please stand for a couple of minutes as the Institute anthem is to be played.
तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
Thank you so much. Please be seated. So I would request our past president CMA Mahesh Shah sir, CMA Amal Kumar Das sir, CMA Harijuban Banerjee sir, CMA Abhijit Datta sir, CMA Chitranjan Chattopadhyay sir, to please come to the dais for the inauguration session. Please, sir. This is to inform that Mahesh Shah sir, he will join very shortly. Abhijit Datta sir, please. So, now we have the felicitation session. So I would request our chairman sir to please felicitate past president sir, CMA Amol Kumar Das sir, with the plant. Sir, please. To please felicitate him with the plant and the Uttorium. Thank you, sir. I would again request, sir, to please felicitate CMA Horijiban Banerjee, sir, past president ICMAI, with the Uttorium and the plant. I would again request, sir, to please felicitate CMA Abhijit Datta, Chairman Professional Development EIRC ICMAI, with the Uttorium and the plant. Thank you. I would request now our Secretary Sir, CMA Kaushik Banerjee Sir, to please felicitate CMA Chitranjan Chattopadhyay Sir with the Uttorium, please. Sir, please. It's my pleasure to announce the inauguration of the BFSI Chronicle e-version 15th edition today. The BFSI board started this publication from the year July 2020, and this is a quarterly publication, and it comprises of all the activities of the BFSI department, including articles contributed by the BFSI sector. We distribute this publication to the top management of the BFSI sector. It is very much appreciated and acknowledged by them, and we will continue this endeavor in coming days as well. So, thank you so much. So, I would now request CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, sir, Chairman of the BFSI Board, for his welcome address. Sir, please.
I think our sir, please come to the dais, please. First, you let this complete, please.
I would, our past president, CMA Mahesh Shah, has joined. I would request sir to please come to the dais, please. And I would request Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, sir, to please felicitate him with the Utturiyu and the plant. So may I now request our chairman, sir, for his welcome address. Sir, please.
Namaskar. Very good afternoon to you all. It's my immense pleasure today itself, because the first council of this 2023-27 term. This is the first program in our hybrid format in this auditorium, which is a very historical auditorium, as you know, because the great son of India, heroic son of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, he inaugurated this building, and this building in this 2023, today being one of the day where we are having this program in this first council, so of 23-27, of course. So I welcome you all, especially this is the BFSI Board's first hybrid program. In fact, I am very much thankful to CMA Ushiniji Dalwadi, President of ICMAI, and the Vice President of the Institute and other BFSI Board members for their continuous support to the BFSI Board. And I am very much thankful to CMA Horijivan Banerjee, the past President Evergreen. I always tell Evergreen, past President of the Institute, and our CMA Awal Kumar Das, who is always, always ahead of us, always. Today itself he is ahead of us. He has come first in this institute to attend this program. And along with him, of course, the Minister Mahesh Shah, the doyen of NBFC's financial sectors, our past president. And I am very much thankful my continuous support given by my council colleague CMA Vijit Goswami, who could not attend today because of is very much preoccupied, program. And of course, I must say that our futures, those who will be taking this institute ahead from Eastern Indian Regional Council, our Professional Development Committee Chairman, Abhijit Datto, CMA Abhijit Datto, he has also been with us. So, of course, as you know, our Eastern Indian Regional Council Regional Cost Conference is going to be held in Puri on 12, 13, 14. Naturally, our whole Council of Regional Council, they are very much busy. Our chairman, vice chairman, and treasurers they are busy with this proposed program. I also welcome you all at Puri for attending this regional cost conference. I believe me that program will be a beautiful program, and many of the luminaries, they will be coming to Puri. And as you know, the Lord Jagannath is there. So naturally, we are getting huge response in this RCC. So I request you, if you are really interested, please book your ticket and book your, your seat in this regional cost conference, which is going to be held in Hotel Blue Lily. And I am very much specially thankful in a very short notice, this program we are organizing. I understand that that many of the people pan-India, they are waiting for this program. So I will not be taking much of time. But of course, I will have to, I will be not making justice if I don't express my gratitude and thanks to Sri Subrata Mukherjee, who has he has just retired from State Bank of India as a former additional chief vigilance officer. As you know, a bank like SBI, when somebody is working with SBI, what sort of experience he can share today, that you will be listening today. And of course, I am also thankful to CMA J.K. Buddhiraja, because I understand Mr. Buddhiraja is always having in his mind the IBC, insolvency banking issue, banking code. This is his in heart. He is now CEO of MARF, but I know that during my association with him for the last 10 years, he has always been very much keen to see that many CMAs should join. I also feel from BFSI board we should handhold with our IPA, which is there already Section 8 company. We should send more and more CMAs in this insolvency resolution process. So we must have that sort of expertise and skill we have to develop so that we can clear the examinations and the CMAs can attend at large for their very successful career in insolvency. Friends, the first session would cover the practical aspects of surveillance, management control and audit expectations for early detection and prevention of all size fraud in banks. If you go to the circular of Reserve Bank of India in 2014 circular they have issued. After that they have issued many in IT security and how all these how you will be able to prevent fraud. All are because the banks are now going for massive transparency and use of advanced data analytics tool to monitor transactions patterns and identify anomalies and implementation predictive modeling to detect unusual behavior or transactions is a very important surveillance factor as of today, because now artificial intelligence is being employed, and especially you will listen from our esteemed speaker that how State Bank of India is really doing a huge, they are entering into the this IT sector. They are utilizing this IT in a big way. In fact, when I met many of the executives of State Bank of India in Mumbai, their headquarters, I could find how State Bank of India is really getting themselves prepared to combat this the many sort of frauds and others. How they are taking this information technology in a much ahead. And the behavioral analysis is also required by monitoring employee and customer behavior for sudden changes or deviations from the norm and implementing systems that can track patterns in account activity. And the real-time detection by the system to flag suspicious transactions and setting up alerts for large or unusual transactions. And video surveillance are undertaken to monitor, control and prevention of frauds. So all this process is now getting huge, getting to be adopted by the banks. And the banks need to conduct regular audits of financial records, processes and controls, along with tools to implement forensic auditing, compliance auditing and technology auditing for detection and prevention of frauds. Friends, as you know, our institute from the BFSI board, we have launched 3 courses on 3 risks. One course is the course on concurrent audit of banks, which is basically on the operational audit, operational risks. And the other is your credit risk, certificate course on credit risk, credit management in banks. These are, you will find in this course, we have already included many of these aspects of how to, the credit risk can be mitigated and the fraud can be also detected. And another course we have launched, this is your certificate course on treasury and international banking, where the market risk of the banks we have discussed in a lot. And treasury also, there are so many issues for which we have also come out to the internal audit of treasury functions of the bank. Therefore, and risk-based internal audit of the banks, already we have got 4th editions. All these, if you documents what we have actually published from the institute, these all encompasses the areas which is very much required for the bankers and for the CMA, especially those who are really working as a consultant or as on any sort of, they are having their many organizations in the LLP, in the form of LLP or in the form of firm. They are serving to the clients those who are associated with the banking transactions, especially as a credit, syndications. And the second technical sessions feature way forward for CMS to become insolvency professional. This will also cover the whole gamut of the, how you can be a successful insolvency professional, how you can be successfully, you can appear for the examinations and you can get yourself a success in this examination. That will be dealt by our CMA J.K. Buddhiraja. So I will not take much of your time, and I am sure this technical session will be of very much interest to you. And my request to you that although we are at the fag end of the year, we are having a holiday mood, but I understand that we are all always having the learning is the most important thing in our life. And our institute is continuously trying to, many webinars we are doing. In fact, I can just share one experience. Yesterday we did have the civil score, how to rectify civil score. We had a webinar, and we have got more than 400 participants in that program. Therefore, I can understand that my CMAs are really very much keen to know, and bankers are also now they are also having this, assertion for the profession. And I am sure if we can proceed in this way with the help of you and your support, if is there, I am sure the what we are actually looking for, that this cost statement, certification by cost accountant for the capacity utilizations, which is a gray area for the bankers. And I request Mr. Mukherjee today to also touch upon these areas, because in the project, whenever any project is being actually funded by the banks, the appraisal takes place in various tiers. Then, there are credit committees, many, these are levels are there. But unfortunately, one thing is missing in the project appraisal, as I have seen, that the capacity utilization certification by a cost accountant is absent. In the credit policy, it is now the crying need that there should be the cost accountant in the credit policy of the bank who can certify many of the cost statements, especially for some projects which are under the cost audit also, because 39 industries are under cost audit. So these cost audit reports, the statements, annexures, these are very important. It might be a very important tool for the bankers. Unfortunately, this cost audit is never asked by the bankers because of certain, but we are approaching to the MCAs and others, and we are telling that for some threshold limit, you should have the certain cost statement certified by a cost accountant, and otherwise the whole due diligence process is a very tedious process. Bankers are doing huge due diligence process. Their appraisal is a very, very tight appraisal process, but still there are certain requirements that CMA should be included and CMA should certify, and I think that would be the real, I think that would be if any gaps are there, that would be definitely filled up by the cost accountants. With this, I convey my greetings of this Christmas and of course the New Year's, because after New Year again we will meet, some programs we will be doing. But by this time, I wish that you should have a very good health, and you must have an enjoyable time, and of course your professional life should be very much illuminative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now request CMA Abhijit Dotto, sir, Chairman, Professional Development, EIRC, ICMAI, for his address. Sir, please.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, everybody. I am profoundly joyous and honored to be here, to have the opportunities to speak in from the dignitaries on the dais and of the dais, and obviously who has joined through the web link. Present here today on this auspicious occasion, I would like to extend a heartiest thanks to CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay sir to giving me the opportunity and organize such a great event in short notice. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest speaker, Subhatom Mukherjee sir. He is the CVO of State Bank of India, and CMA J.K. Buddhiraja sir, CEO ICMAI MARF. A big round of applause for both of them, please. Thank you. Our Honorable former President, CMA Amal Kumar Das, CMA Mahesh Shah sir, CMA Harijaban Banerjee sir, respected Central Council member, Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay sir, our Chairman EIRC in absentia, Vice Chairman in absentia. Thank you, all of you to be present here. Our respected members of the dais and web link, thank you all of you to be present here. Today's topic is practical aspects of surveillance, management control, and audit expectations of every detection, early detection and prevention of all sides of fraud in banks, and way forward for CMAs to become insolvency professional, which is need of the day. In first point, audit. Audit is concerned, so far the audit is what audit is concerned, we all know the concept is from ancient time, where Nakul and Sahadev of Pancha Pandav are responsible, one for accounting and other one for auditing. Definitely, financial fraud is not that time, the word is not there, but the audit there for accurate accounting, obviously. At present, fraud is the threat of all the organizations, especially in banks. Different size of fraud in banks. Actually, not only the aspect of affect the banks, but the general people, government, and society at large. So early detection and prevention of the same is need of the day. Today, we all learn, we will learn a lot about it from our learned speaker, CMA Subrata Mukherjee sir. On the second point, way forward for CMAs to become insolvency professional. Insolvency professional is the best among all the financial professionals. As a practicing cost accountant, we normally work as an cost consultant, management consultant, strategy consultant, etc. For all the above mentioned areas, we are working for the management. But whereas when insolvency professional take the charge, they are working as management. As and when they took the charge, director, all the directors, director finance, director technical, director personnel, all are ineffective. Definitely, challenges are more responsibilities are there, and at the same time, it is more prestigious and remunerative job as well. We have to shift ourselves from cost consultant to management consultant to strategy consultant, and strategy consultant to insolvency professional. This should be our roadmap as a professional. CMA Buddhiraja sir will discuss in details in his presentation. With this presence of all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and obviously who are joining the web link, I wish a grand success of the seminar. Before I handed over the mic, there is an announcement sir has already announced. We have jointly EIRC, Eastern India Region Council, and the Bhubaneswar chapter jointly organized the Regional Cost Conference 23-24 at Puri, the holy place, on 12th, 13th and 14th of January. Theme of the seminar is New Bharat, Paradigm Shift, Challenges and its Opportunities. As a convener of the seminar, I would like to request you all again to present there physically and make this program successful. With this, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now request CMA Mahesh Shah, sir, past President ICMAI, for his address. Sir, please.
Good afternoon to everybody. Our senior most former president, Mr. Harjun Banerjee, Mr. Amal Das, chairman of this BFSI committee, Mr. Chitranjan Chattopadhyay, our PDC chairman from the regional council, Mr. Abhijit Datta, secretary of the institute, Mr. Kaushik Banerjee, and today's very eminent speakers, Mr. Subrata Mukherjee, Mr. Buddharaj, and very senior members and all senior, and I can't use the word junior, but everybody. It's indeed a pleasure when you get a call from person, our own colleague, friend, Chitranjan Da, to come for a seminar on an issue where the subject was so close to me in my career. I mean, when I am banking in this committee, when I was hearing, as somebody who is from the banking career is heading it. And today being the first from this, for this year, and we are so proud that this is kind of apart from our core area of costing, estimate, budgeting, variance analysis, we have a mind to understand what is where from the finances coming. And I do remember my days of starting when I started consultancy in the financial field. I used to go to the banker and anything I'll explain and then I'll just say, oh, this belongs to this group. वो लोग लगा रहे हैं, अच्छा, वो लगा रहे हैं. It was a blind kind of approach of appraisal. The appraisal system was different altogether. Whatever you will submit and the applications are, appraised and given the money. The time has come, the technology has come in between, and the technology has come and it is so much detail. Today, when you go to SEBI also for IPO, SEBI says, you write everything. Write truth, full truth, nothing else than the truth. Even a promoter has been convicted for a rep in his life, that also you write. On the top of that, if the investor public wants to subscribe to their share, let it be there. There's the same way, today when you go to a banker knows about it, but then still I feel a profession of our stature and our background can do a lot of other things. Apart from when challenges are there, what we can do, one can understand. When we say about talking like Mr. Chitranjan was talking about yesterday program on the rating and scoring. You get messages from the various finance company, sir, pre-approved a loan for you, 4 lakh, 20 lakh, 2 crore, 4 crore. That's a very good thing. At least somebody, because of your Aadhaar card, your earning capacity, your spending capacity is getting monitored because of certain compilations are happening. And that compilation in the same way, I'll say, the number of members we have tomorrow, the institute takes like when we need a medical facilities, when we renew our membership, you give your all detail, the latest number, latest address, latest thing, your blood positive or negative, you also get a scoring number. So now time has come as an institution. We must see the pulse of where my members are stationed, where my members are, what they are in practicing, they are service, they are wherever they are in industry, how the institute in a system collect the data and give it to the system, to the banker and anything. And this is the capacity of our profession to borrow so much on an individual basis. Somebody's score is very good, he can draw 40. I'm talking about personal capacity. This is the same way the entire appraisal system, which is there, the fraud. There is organized fraud. There are the big companies fraud. I don't want to name those companies. A company is entitled for 100 crore turnover with a 250 crore, 3 to 4 months of your working capital you can take from the bank. But instead the banker is sitting here, he can understand. But instead of 1,000 crore, they are showing 4,000 crore. But then they are getting on 4,000 crore, 1,000 crore limit, they are getting it. But again, what they do? So the country was needing, I have various experiences with the banking thing. One side, when we see how many entrepreneurs are there in the country, how many people can, if I do remember when I bought first my air conditioned machine of the Voltas company, 1.5 ton machine costed me 34,000 rupees. And if you can locate the balance sheet of Voltas of those years, 1975, 76, 78, 80, hardly 33,000 capacity, installed capacity of the company was there in a country of this size. So one of the former finance minister, former prime minister, when he came, he opened the trade policy. There's no need of the trade, licensing system. And now it has come. Now the same product, better technology, we are getting at 22, 23, 24,000 rupees. So the system that we accountant in the entire banking and financial field we support in our own way. I mean, I just came yesterday from an overseas trip. And when you see, many times I've been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, many places, but yesterday I was just watching, just see such a big crossing like Panch Mata crossing of Shambhaza. You don't find even one policeman. One policeman is not there. আমাদের এখানে 10টা পার্ক স্ট্রিট চৌরঙ্গির মোড় দেখলে একটা গাড়ি আছে, 4টে স্কুটার আছে, 10 জন বসে আছে. Why? Because the system is so powerful. They know if I do mistake, 10,000 dirham, 5,000 dirham. He lose interest in what he is doing it. So this is what we have to build up the system in times to come, and we support the banking system, banking people, whatever is there. Because the technology is happening like anything, and many things you get where from they got this data, where from they got the detail. The system is compiling the data. And I can only say, this kind of seminar are very useful, and I'm thankful to Mr. Chittaranjan, which is doing. Don't worry on that quantity of the members, go on the quality. That's more important, I can see. But I do remember, I don't know why we see, maybe when I was student, we had a library upstairs. And we used to be very fortunate. Anytime anything was happening here, all students will be told to go down to the hall, and we used to get the opportunity of listening to many senior people like that. That was a good thing. And with all Abhijit just informed that we have a regional conference, we will take benefit of that. There's a lot to speak, but we have invited our very experienced speakers. Mr. Mukherjee, Abdul Raja is from us only, and we'll hear them and listen to what is the update in the system. With all the best wishes for the seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now request CMA Horijiban Banerjee, sir, past President ICMAI, for his address.
Good afternoon to you all. It's give me immense pleasure to be with you in this afternoon in the first seminar organized by a very professional-minded personality like Mr. Chittaranjan Chatterjee. I was really thinking what happened with Chittaranjan, a man who is actually bubbling with ideas and professional venturism, is not doing any seminar in this year, and I was really thinking. However, my address, my senior past president, Mr. Amol Das, who was former Director of Finance and also acting chairman of Northern Coalfields, and Mr. Mahesh Shah, who is very much known for his professionalism in the professional world and also past president of the company secretaries. He is very much knowledgeable in the professional field, and he has also already given you a glimpse of what there is in his mind actually. Also Mr. Young, our young professional, the chairman of Professional Development Committee of EIRC, Mr. Abhijit Datta, he has also given a very good lesson, and I will not take much of your time. Only thing is this, I have learned one thing here. I have learned that Nokul and Sahadev, they were the first auditors of the world. Only I used to know that Nokul and Sahadev the father of Nokul and Sahadev was Ashwini Kumar Dai. Both Ashwini. Now I have learned this Mr. Datta is giving us very good guidance about the Sanatan Dharma. He is aware of the inauguration of Ram Mandir on 23rd January, perhaps, 22nd January. So I congratulate you to give us ideas about the areas in which India excelled. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, Really a very important thing is this. Mr. Chatterjee has taken initiative to organize such a seminar when this is very much topical and very much fruitful, proved to be fruitful to the institute members. As you know, only day before, few days back, we have been given instruction by the central government that you will have to do biometric explanation or a biometric analysis of for holding your gas cylinder. And this is also a unique conjunction for getting the accounts of your bank. So through this way, you can also have your all information of banking accounts will be available to the ministry, and also they can do anything like that. The happenings of fraud, the incidents of fraud is so much today, they are in the society, that it needs to be very much controlled. It needs to be very much examined how it can be controlled. With the development of the artificial intelligence, the intelligence of the fraud, people who are there in the fraud, doing fraud, cheat. They are also getting their inspiration, and they are also teaching themselves to be more up to date and more moderate. Gentlemen, I will not take much of your time. Only thing is this, I want that this seminar should be proved successful, and we wanted and we hope that many more members should have participated in this, though there are a good number of members participating through webinar. And in future, we will hope whenever institute organizes a seminar, students, members, they should attend for their updating of knowledge and to avoid the professional obsolescence. Thank you very much. I wish the seminar a very good success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now request CMA Amol Kumar Dash, sir, past president ICMAI, for his address, please.
Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to the participant on YouTube. I've been told that more than 100 members are joining through YouTube, which is a good sign. At the outset, I must thank the chairman of this BFSIB board, Chittaranjan Chatterjee, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to meet all of you. On two issues, I must thank Chittaranjan Chatterjee. One is he has taken a lot of initiative from 2019 onwards to make our institute visible in SEBI. Many of us know that in SEBI circle, the name of cost accountant was not at all visible. Now he is the man with untiring efforts made it possible that cost accountants are acceptable in the SEBI activities. Fortunately, two of the senior members of SEBI is also cost accountant, and he is taking that advantage. Thank you, Chittara. Second thing, if you like to be mad, give some ideas to him, and he will make you mad at all. Why I am telling, I have given some idea about the internal audit on risk management in mining sector, coal, iron, etc. I could talk with the Chairman Coal India, Chairman NMDC, Chairman Khazramog Iron. And after that, daily he will ring all the, what is the progress, what is the progress, what is the progress. So now I am thinking I have done a very bad thing by giving a new idea to him. But I tell you, this will be another area for the cost accountants. Our target that within the month of June 2024, before the national conference, the guidelines on the basis of risk management in the mining sector will be published. The work has already started, and I know that if it is not completed within the month of May, he will make me send to Ranchi. So I am forced to do it, being a coordinator. I also thank for giving some diversification of our profession. Many of us may not like our profession so far depending on the cost audit. Days are changed. In the liberalized economy, market-driven economy, the requirement of the cost audit is being questioned by the ministry also now. So I do not know what is the fate. Perhaps all of you know in 1997-98, there was an attempt by the ministry to abolish the cost audit. During that council, Mr. Harijaman Banerjee, Mr. Sukumaran, myself, Kunal Banerjee, tried our best, camping at Delhi for days after days and meeting all dignitaries, all ministers, to ensure that cost audit is not abolished. We were successful. I am sure the present council also will do its best to face the pressure, the problem from the ministry and the business houses. Now, the new areas about the stock audit by the cost accountant. It is the beginning of the recognition of the cost accountant in the finance ministry. I hope a lot of things will be done in the coming days. I have got a lot of faith and belief in the present council, and hopefully the many things will be done in a positive way for the benefit of the member. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our past president, sirs, chairman, sir, CMA Abhijit Dotto, sir. So we have completed the inauguration session. So we will start with the technical session. So thank you so much. So I would request, please, please help him. Name letter. So I would request Shri Subroto Mukherjee sir, former additional CVO, State Bank of India, and CMA J.K. Buddhi Raja sir, CEO ICMAI MARF, to please come in the dais, and I will request Chairman sir to please accompany them to the dais, please. May I now request CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay sir, our chairman sir, to please felicitate Subroto Mukherjee sir with the Uttoriyo and the plant. A huge round of applause, please. I will again request sir to please felicitate CMA J.K. Budhiraja sir with the Uttoriyo and the plant. Thank you so much. So I would have the privilege of introducing our technical session, first technical session speaker, Shri Subroto Mukherjee sir. Shri Subroto Mukherjee, apart. Okay. So I would request our secretary sir to please come in the dais, please. CMA Kaushik Banerjee sir, I would request sir to please come in the dais, please. I would request our chairman sir to please felicitate him with the Uttoriyo and the plant. CMA Dr. Kaushik Banerjee sir, our secretary sir. Please take your seat, sir. Thank you so much. So I would have the privilege of introducing our first technical session speaker, Shri Subroto Mukherjee sir. Shri Subroto Mukherjee, apart from being a postgraduate, he is a certified associate of Indian Institute of Bankers. He has worked in Andhra Bank in different capacities. He had also discharged responsibilities as additional chief vigilance officer for looking after vigilance administration of SBI East Zone, consisting of Kolkata, Patna, Bhubaneswar, and Northeast Guwahati circles. So we welcome you, sir. So now requesting our speaker, eminent speaker, Shri Subroto Mukherjee sir, for his presentation. Sir, please.
দুজনেই নিচে আছে এক্ষুনি অডিটোরিয়ামে দুজনে ফোন করে আয় দুজনে অডিটোরিয়ামে
পেন ড্রাইভ তো নেই
ফাইলটা মেলে ট্রান্সফার করে এখানে এখানে পোর্ট একটাই আছে মেলে ট্রান্সফার করে যাবে
ডাইরেক্টলি করলে আমার সুবিধা হয় ওখান থেকে আমি মানে এ করতে পারবো কন্ট্রোল করতে পারবো না ওখানে পুরো কন্ট্রোল না পোর্ট তো কাজ করছে
स्क्रीन करना पड़ेगा ये।
না এইখানে থেকে ডুয়েল স্ক্রিন করতে হবে। ডুয়েল স্ক্রিন কোনটা আমি বুঝেছি না, এইটা নেই। তুমি এখান থেকে গ্রাফিক প্রপার্টিসে যাও, গিয়ে ডবল স্ক্রিন করে দাও। এখানে একটা হটকিও থাকে না, ওখানে না, ওখানে না, ডেস্কটপ থেকে রাইট ক্লিক করে
না এটাতে ঠিকই আছে।
এর HDMI আউটপুটটা দেখ সন্দীপন মনিটরে।
ডেস্কটপটা নিয়ে এসো, রাইট ক্লিক করো ডেস্কটপ, ডিসপ্লে সেটিং ডুয়েল থাকবে, এখানে ডুয়েল মনিটর, মাল্টিপল ডিসপ্লে। Dictate other display. Dictate other display মানে না,
বুঝছে না।
ওখানে HDMI করেছো?
ওখানে এটা তো লাগালে তো দেওয়ার কথা।
পেন ড্রাইভ আছে, আমি পেন ড্রাইভটা নিয়ে আসছি, আমি
পেন ড্রাইভ দেবো আমি তোমাকে?
পেন ড্রাইভ থেকে কপি করে,
হ্যাঁ ওটা ওখানে
কিন্তু ওখানে
ঠিক করছে না স্যার।
অ্যাকচুয়ালি তখন টর্চ বা
না লাগবে, প্রেজেন্টার আছে,
প্রেজেন্টার আছে।
কাজ করছে না এটা মাউসটা।
না মাউস কাজ করছে, হ্যাঁ আমার কাছে মাউস আছেও। আপনার দরকার আছে মাউস? দরকার আছে ফিজিক্যাল মাউস?
নড়ছে না এটা এখানে।
কাজ করছে না, এইখানে হটকি আছে কিন্তু, জানো তো এইখানে হটকি থাকে না, আমি দেখে বলি কত নাম্বার কি বিষয়।
পেনড্রাইভটা নিয়ে শনিবার যখন ছিল ওখান করে দেয়।
আচ্ছা পেন ড্রাইভে দিচ্ছে,
কন্ট্রোল F10 না, একটা না আসছে না।
এই তো ডু ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু
পেন ড্রাইভ নিচ্ছে না।
ওখানে মনিটরে HDMI দেখাচ্ছে, এটা তো তোমার
এখানে মাউসটাই কাজ করছে না।
না না এখন
আপনি কোথায় আছে বলুন ফাইলটা স্যার।
না 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 মাউস কাজ
চলে গেলে সব থেকে ভালো। আমার যেখানে HDMI যাচ্ছে না,
পেনড্রাইভটা
পেন ড্রাইভটা ঢুকবে না, মাউসের জন্য এটা পোর্টে দিয়েছি। আপনি পেন ড্রাইভ ওখান থেকে
না, পেনড্রাইভ নেবো না স্যার, পেনড্রাইভ এখান থেকে
না,
নেবেন।
ঠিক আছে মাউস আমি করে দিচ্ছি, আপনি
যখন ছিল সেরকম করে দেবে।
আপনি Good afternoon, and respected Chairman of BFSI ICMAI, Kolkata, Sri Chitranjan Chattopadhyay, sir, and all other senior dignitaries and learned and qualified and veteran CMS present here, and all the participants sitting here and at the remote. Friends, first of all, regarding this technical side, I say beg my pardon or sorry that some first time connectivity के लिए जो problem है, so for that okay. And see, today's subject I will not go some other aspects, and directly I will come to the subject, that is the practical aspects of surveillance, management control and audit expectation for early detection and prevention of all size fraud in bank. Friends, within a short notice, I have prepared this presentation, and when I have told that here the group consisting of mostly qualified persons and learned CMAs and auditors field. So I have told when audit expectation, friends, frankly speaking, I am telling in the beginning that I had little awareness about your expectation also. So if any shortcomings or something is there, I will be asking your pardon. Friends. So now regarding the title of the subject, I have taken three areas, that is surveillance, monitoring, management control and audit expectation. So, and one by one I will be coming. So if we go to the memory lane, we recall corporate frauds like Satyam, Enron, Wells Fargo, WorldCom, Lehman Brothers Bank, Waring banks, either declaring insolvency and or investors and stakeholders losing billions overnight, not to mention the protracted legal costs and court cases in various courts and countries. Indian banking sector has witnessed increased reporting of frauds over the last many years, while advances account for a larger share in the total, with an expanding business and technology adoption and digital channels and products, collaboration with the technology providing vendors and platforms, banks and customers have been frequently falling prey of the fraud schemes engineered by clever fraudsters, besides sophisticated breaches in IT system, landing the banks losing money. While losing hard-earned money is painful of its own, the inconvenience and harassment encountered due to fraudulent incidences, either in physical or in digital interfaces, none other from the trusty and faithful custodian service organizations like bank and other FIs of national importance, becomes more painful for the individuals, customers, other stakeholders, and it is a menace to the national assets also. Fraud in the financial and other many important sectors of the economy is worldwide phenomena, and regulatory authorities are concerned and continuously creating awareness among the public and adopting upgrading checks and measures to limit the quantum of incidences through early detection, reporting, investigation, accountability fixation, law enforcement, and sealing to max extent. Many organizations in private and public sectors and universities of national and international stature have come up with fraud detection techniques, developing trained fraud examiners and with the application of AI-based technology for detection and law enforcement. So, with this starting, friends, I shall give in statistics of fraud in Indian banking system. Please help me in this mouse because it is not. Second slide. If you be in the side, the second slide. So, this is the figure. In the last 3 years, the banking sector has seen the number of frauds have been increasing. But one good thing is that in amount wise, it has decreased in 2022-23. So I will come later that how the things are changing. Here, I will be telling that many, even this, other than these statistics, many frauds are there, might have been compromised or corrected at the source and might have been not reported. So RBI is very, very much keen for the reporting, detection and reporting, and faster. Those things I will come later. So during 2022-23, public sector banks reported 3,405 frauds involving 21,125 crore. Private banks also 8,932 cases, that is more in private bank, involving 8,727 crore. Rest are from foreign banks, financial institutions, small finance bank, and other payment bank. And 95% of the fraud was reported in cases related to loans and advances. So next slide. So before coming to the banking fraud and banking fraud areas, I will be telling the main objective of this program and this subject to convey here. That about this, I will come in, that is the main objective is detection, reporting, investigation and prosecution or punishment. In short, we say DRIP, D-R-I-P. So, but these frauds are happening in financial, not only in the financial institutions, in wherever many other organizations where real estate companies, procurement purchase related companies, you know very well, and you are associated with various companies in the public sector and private sector in the country. So it is not new for you. So here I have made the presentation in this sequence that I will come how the frauds happen. Before coming this banking fraud, I will come to the slide number. You see 29th slide में आ जाइए आप. So just like before, what we have done in our earlier days, that what type of questions may come for the exam, if we go through at a glance of those questions, so our reading or study of the subject will be easier. So based on that. No, next, ekdam 29th slide. Last, 20.
Which one?
Last slide, last 33 slide. That one. See, if we go through the checklist and enter into the subject, so thing will be clear. Because what I am going to tell here, so most of the things are known, all of you. Just I will be presenting in the some different mode before you. That's why I have made in this way. That is surveillance part, management control part, and audit expectation part. As such, you are the audit expectation auditors, all auditors field. So you are having that direct touch and more practical experiences. So those part, I think my coverage will be easier. So if we know these 11 things before going, is ongoing anti-fraud training provided to all employees of the organization. Second point is an effective fraud reporting mechanism in place in the organization for all organizations. This is even majorly in the bank. To increase employees' perception of detection, are the following, means some other slides are there. Proactive measures taken and publicized to employees. Is the management climate tone of the top one of honesty and integrity? Are fraud risk assessments performed to proactively identify and mitigate the company's vulnerabilities to internal and external fraud? Are strong anti-fraud controls in place and operating effectively? Does the internal audit department, if one exists, naturally exists, have adequate resources and authority to operate effectively and without undue influence from senior management? Does the hiring policy include the certain mandatory information and checks? Are employee support programs in place to assist employees struggling with addiction, mental, emotional health, family or financial problem? Is an open door policy in place that allows employees to speak freely about pressures, providing management an opportunity to alleviate such pressures before they become acute. Are regular anonymous surveys conducted to assess employee morale? So if we keep these things in the mind and go for the subject, I think it will be easier for the, so I'll be going. And my time is also, I think I have lost my time for some, so I'll try to cover in brief. So friends, so with this, we find that there should be a detection system, reporting system, investigation system, and finally it is a prosecution or punishment system for fraud. And more it is there should be a prevention system. So in banking fraud, you already know that banking area में क्या fraud हो सकता है. One is deposit related, then advance related, then service related. And majorly in the bank, that advance related frauds are in focus because it is the major in quantity. But friends, I am telling what I have seen in the State Bank of India. So even each and every member's depositors are at risk for different reasons. It is not for the bankers or bank employees service shortage, or there are so many other people are there who are continuously work, and they are clever, so clever. They are also continuing trying to break the protocols and by many means. So in that regard, a lot of researches are going on. I will come afterwards regarding one institution who has progressed, and many of us are not known those subjects, but those organizations or universities coming with their institution in every state headquarters. So this then what is fraud? According to the CVC, that Central Vigilance Commission, they have to. This is a breach of contract or trust. Pledged mortgage assets are compromised or divested of. The documents are forged, and funds availed are diverted to siphoned off. Documented is credits like we know letter of credits, bank guarantee misused. A lot of incidences are there. If time permits, I will be giving some examples of what I have directly I have dealt in my hand. So then next slide. See roots of fraud. Though this that illegal means fraudulent use of depositors' money, then negligence of the employee, then advantage of the technology glitch and taking advantage of that, then cyber crime, internal fraud by, then if you come to the classification, internal fraud by staff, then customer oriented, digital cyber related in that field, then internet banking platform plat. There's a huge fraud has been happening in internet banking platform, and fraud in areas of account opening, identity theft, then wrong KYC or inadequate KYC or not verification or of KYC, check related frauds. Then next, then likewise types of frauds. If we come loan related fraud, many points are there. Out of that, I will be highlighting some 4-5 points. That is weakness in loan appraisal, weak loan security, overvaluation of the loan security, sudden drop in value of the loan security. Like that, many other points are there. False documentation and all these things, incorrect repayment installment. A lot of things are there. Next slide. So likewise, in the non-fund based facility banks, bank guarantee, letter of credit, letter of comfort we have seen duplicate bank guarantee or fake bank guarantee. And this is the real picture, friends. Just besides our Kolkata branch, we have seen in a branch of State Bank of India, that branch is not empowered to issue the bank guarantee. Some 18 crores fraud have been happened by opening many number of bank guarantees. And some of the bank guarantee, up to 5 crores, bank gave its confirmation also. So that is the situation. Likewise, use of financial statements in the banking frauds. I need not explain much more here because it will come in the part of the audit that forged financial statements or misstatements and all these things will be coming. And hiding the fact, non-compliance, accounting standards and all these things. In audit part it will come. So next slide, I'll go. So regarding deposit frauds, fictitious deposit holders, change in deposit master data. So duplicate printing of deposit receipts, you might be a stub deposit. Here I am telling about deposits frauds means I think majority of the people we are connected with our hard-earned deposits and our high expectation from the bank that it should be anyway protected. And so incorrect application of interest rate in the deposit, they are also a big thing we have seen. Transaction in deposit account without knowledge and consent of the customer. And transaction in inoperative deposits accounts. Regarding these inoperative transactions accounts, I will give a very live example. I handled that case and I videographed, but it is in the Telugu language, so I will not present, I will narrate. So then office accounts, lot of frauds, that is the suspense accounts, third-party liability settlement account, interbranch account. Then it comes cashier frauds, counterfeit currency frauds, cash adjustments, steaming and lading, cash shortages, cash payment, like that. Then loan recovery frauds. So people will be saying what frauds can be there in the loan recovery. Bankers is going to recover the bank loan, what fraud can be there. There also there is a scope of frauds. So area is so vast. So then foreign exchange frauds, false documentation of foreign transactions, use of foreign exchange forwards, contracts and speculation rather than business use, false import or export orders and all these things. Then false foreign LOC frauds. Then securitization fraud, creation of financial assets and financial interest, issue of securities, underlying security of loan assets in this area, sale of security to other investors. So different types of frauds are there. It will be, if time permits, I will explain. Then investment fraud, fictitious investment. Then siphoning of funds by investment, corruption in investment, absence in investment securities, fraudulent classification of investment portfolio, aggressive investment positions in derivative markets. Then it comes cyber or digital frauds. I think I need not explain much. Nowadays people are very much aware of ATM frauds, phishing, malware. Then SWIFT frauds may be a different issue. Then email malware attack, like that. Then change in mobile number, what I told INB. Havoc loss people are doing. It may not be loss. If in proper time it is reported to the bank, and from the customer sides it proved that he is not responsible. Bank is giving the money within a mandatory period, but it is a loss to the bank. And lot of loss I have seen in the eastern zone, especially northeast Patna and Patna circle. But it has been checked in the bigger way by efforts of the all fraud monitoring department, top management, as well as local vigilance chapter and all these things. So then next I will go. So this is the types of frauds, and first part I think I will enter into the surveillance, regulation and management control. I have given it is a small name, SRMC. It is my for easiness. So again I am repeating that Reserve Bank of India directions are very, very important in these aspects, and major objective is the detection and reporting of the fraud timely. For that mechanism or for that technology have been developed for the what our chairman sir told since 2014, and further it has been made better and better formation and upgradation has been, so that timely detection is the major and most important detection. Then once we detect, we have to report also. It is not the end. So this is reporting. And after reporting, giving to the investigation organization, and once the type of fraud or persons involved or the ways how it has happened can be discovered. For that, everything's timeline have been fixed so that the actual culprit can be booked and corrective measure can be taken, and where the faults or glitches can be. That is the main objective. So to detect and report frauds early, taking timely consequent actions, reporting to the investigating agency, fraudsters, examining staff accountability and effective risk management. So RBI is very much keen there, and none other than CMD and CEOs are directed to focus on fraud prevention and management function, and for effective investigation of fraud cases and prompt as well as accurate reporting. So next slide. And fraud monitoring and investigation function must be owned by the bank CEO, audit committee of the board and special committee of the board. That is the direction. And bank's board shall frame internal policy and fraud risk management and fraud investigation function based on the governance standards. And banks shall send the fraud monitoring returns through the XBRL system to the RBI. Next slide. So these are the direction of the RBI. Now again I come to the classification of fraud, because why I told, because once it is a detection, will be there reporting as well as prosecution is required. So we have to book the culprit under the law. So because law enforcement, we cannot go beyond that. In case of auditors also, it will come. The things will come. That what is their area. So that's why it has been classified again by RBI, that based on IPC, that is Indian Penal Code. So that is there is a 7 types. They have this misappropriation and criminal breach of trust, fraudulent encashment through fraudulent instruments, manipulations of books of accounts through fictitious accounts and conversion of property, unauthorized credit facility extended to reward for illegal gratification, cash shortages, cheating and forgery, fraudulent transactions, any other type of. Out of these cash shortages and fraudulent transactions have been told, if it has been proved that due to negligence and forest transaction also, so there the fraud should be defraud the suspected fraud. So that is another area. So that must be reported. So otherwise cash shortages and other things in the general reporting is there. So these are, and they have also fixed the amount of the frauds to be reported, the minimum amount of if it is a ATM 10,000, if it is a cash shortage 5,000 detected, and if it is detected by the auditor, inspecting officer and not reported earlier, but auditor has come, and so in that case that is the limit. Next. So all these things will be reported. A central fraud registry has been created, and for the monitoring returns, where bankers are having their user ID and password. And again, that main objective is timely identification, control, reporting and mitigation of fraud risk. So banks are also advised to put in place proper system and procedure to ensure that information available in CFR is made use as a part of credit risk governance and fraud risk management. So these are regarding fraud reporting of ways of the Reserve Bank of India, that is FMR return or XBRL application, FMR application, every monthly certificate giving, then submitted where central investigation agencies initiated criminal proceedings, there also how it will be done. So these are all RBI guidelines. I think much I need not explain. It will be open to the for the public as a public documents for all. So these are the areas. Then if it is foreign banks, how they are working like that, how they have to report. Then and in addition to that is FMR, another area is flash report publication. That is also has been directed by the Reserve Bank of India, where the benchmark limit has been fixed to the 50 crores or 500 millions. So some dedicated officers will be there, not less than a general manager level, for reporting all these things and making a coordinating, and RBI is doing in that way. So these are all CFR, Central Fraud Monitoring System, and CFMC, Department of the Banking Force under Banking Supervision and Department of located in the Bangalore. So these are the things monitoring system is going on. So now again, Reserve Bank of India has come up with the loan frauds under new framework, where again that is the prevention has been added, prevention and early detection and prompt reporting to the RBI. Because in the vigilance area also I have seen, things has happened, we will be taking the action or afterwards the things, so that is the post happening of the things, why don't we go for the prevention? Most and prevention. So that is the main objective here. So here the investigating agencies and timely initiation of the staff accountability, then at the same time bankers' business, that is normal conduct of the business of the banks should not be at risk. That is also to be looked after, because fraud is happening. If we see the quantum of the fraud, it may be total advances 1%, even not even 2% of the sometimes, or even staff members in SBI we have seen even 1% of the people. Okay, it will be done. So these are the areas. So for that, early warning signals has come up, red flagging of the accounts and all these things. I will not go in the detailed discussion, and how the EWS is working, what are the triggers and flashing every day and taking a check and further monitoring from the higher authorities. It is a regular process and it is going on. And early detection and reporting. And next. Early detection, okay. So, see, what my earlier speaker, chairman sir told, that appraisal system, if it is a appraisal system level, we can check, prevent for the loan frauds. A robust appraisal and an effective credit monitoring mechanism during the entire life cycle of the loan account can check to the greater way. And these are the three areas there: pre-sanction stage, so verification of the all the due diligences and their business, raids conducted in the business, or like that, various other things, points are there if it is done. Next slide. Then at the disbursement stage, compliances and all these things, whether particular terms and conditions, court terms and conditions are given, are done or not. And next is annual review. So annual review of the accounts also, that is adequacy of the stock statement and stress in the groups. What are the various things will come out if we go to the keenly in those things. So it will come out. So there also there is a check. So another staff empowerment, that is the staff should be empowered in such a way whistleblower policy works and staffs are not punished but they should be rewarded. So that system, especially I gladly and proudly see SBI has implemented for the last 2 years, felicitating the people across the country for checking the fraud and any value fraud, because fraud is fraud. If it is a 1 rupee or thousands of crores of rupees fraud, so they are felicitating and giving rewarding. Then incentive of the prompt reporting. It is for the bankers how the provisions will be made in case of frauds, because it is a huge loss for big loan accounts in a quarter or 4 quarters, and that is depending upon the reporting, whether properly it is reported or not. Next slide. Then again that is coming, that early detection and speed. I am repeating again. Even I will be finishing within another 15 minutes. So early detection and speed of detection, where it is detected, magnitude of fraud and substantial impact, component of fraud prevention by fraud examiners, lesson of detection and improvement, improve staff perceptions about fraud, then deters future misconduct, initial detection and reporting, and investigation and law enforcement finally. So now comes the auditor's role and expectation. Here I will take less time because all the auditors are sitting. friends, see, RBI is telling whenever instances come, you come across the instances, immediately you report to the audit committee of the board. But as per the standard auditing SA 240, the auditor's responsibility has been mentioned there. And in the two aspects, that is the misstatements resulting from fraudulent financial reporting and misstatements resulting from misappropriation of the assets. Next slide. So then here again, fraud and responsibilities of the auditor in this regard. Again, that under SA 240 and Section 143 12 of Companies Act 2013 and Rule 13 also what says that how the nature of fraud descriptions and approximate amount involved and parties involved should be reported within 2 days of the knowledge of the fraud. And there also two categorization has been made, below 1 crore and above 1 crore. So there, what are the points and timeline for expecting the reply from the audit committee and further reporting to the central government. Those are the things have been described. And these are the audit portion. And furthermore, I think it is known to all of you. And fraud risk factors. What are the factors? How the fraud happens and how it is happened. Here also some limitations are there, I know, for the auditors, so that they can report and get. They have to inform and report and get explanation from the audit committee to that extent. Further things will be done by the management of the organization or the bank. So under fraud risk factors, how it is happened, that is incentive pressure, people are, or some opportunities or some other things due to that frauds are occurred. So those can be detected. And circumstances, if we go through the circumstances relating to the possibility of the fraud, various points are there. So under that, discrepancies in accounting records, including transactions related, then unauthorized balance transactions related, last minute adjustment, evidence of the employees, all these things your area, friends. So I'll not go in the details. Then conflicting or missing evidences, including missing documents that appear to have been altered, significant unassigned items, likewise many other things. So these are the next auditor. See. So again, I have come a categorized problematic or unusual relationship between the auditor and management. That also comes in the part. Various points comes under that. Next slide. Then other points come. Then unwillingness of the management to permit the auditor to meet privately with those regard with governance and like that. Accounting policies, frequent changes in the accounting estimates, then tolerance of violence and entities code of conduct. So these are the things. This is the what are the I told 11 points. For that details are there. I will not go in that. So my presentation part in the what I made, it is over. But I will be telling if you permit me. So one or two examples. I think I have covered these 33 pages. And see, one fraud I will be telling regarding the fixed deposit misappropriation, and that is overdue fixed deposit, and that is belonging to 1998, and the owners of those fixed deposits are not traced. Even in those cases, some 40 to 50 cases in a branch. What the person did, it is an insider fraud. The staff members who took VRS when his remaining service is 11 years, that is also a very area of sensitive area. So he took. So one fine day, a representation came, or one lady came before the branch manager's quarter. I am sitting as a AGM of that branch, Secunderabad. So that, sir, I am having this fixed deposit which was given as a that is the bank, as a bank guarantee for a work to be done by the Secunderabad, that is the defense organization, and that the bank guarantee was issued in favor of, that is because their headquarters was in the Bangalore. So just it is a small amount of some 8,000. She told this is 8,000. So I am 17 years or it's in 2014. So 16 years it is there. In other banks similar type was there. My husband is now not working, he is older. So it will be, there I have got some 30,000, 40,000, similar type of bank guarantee with that interest. So pay me. I am making round to your branch for the last 2 months. For some things or reasons, people are telling that it is not there. So I took, give me 1 day. So I took these things. I searched everything because by that time, old register to computerized systems and all these things, it is not showing, nowhere reflecting that deposit. So where it is gone. So, but deposit is there and is a genuine case. So we searched for incidentally that branch preserved the voucher of 1998. When we went to the 1998 voucher and further jotting books and the sequence, we found that deposit has been, once it was renewed and it went to the that is overdue deposits, and it was further renewed, and within renewal, within 4 or 5 days, it was encashed, and their encash, it was paid in the cash or across the counter. Incidentally, cashier is old because they can stay 14, 15 years in the branch. So he told, I do not know, sir. So because so-and-so officer did it. So who is that officer? He has taken BRS. Another officer, newly joined from Bihar, he has left the job after 2 years. So it was somehow, and we called that retired persons. He told, I am giving such check from my current account, whatever amount you debit and pay to the customers. So that created a doubt. We didn't pay. We kept that, reported and took all voucher verification. Lot of stories are there in between. I will conclude. It came 30 lakhs and the OAs, and in the 40 or 50, we made an interview how he did. He searched each and 40, 50 houses according to the address and saw that those people are not residing. They might have gone to the shifted somewhere or died and all these things. So he renewed those things, made a draft in favor of some remotely some person's name, and his fixed deposit by trust he kept some 50 lakhs, made a overdue deposit loan on that, and that draft was used for payment of that. And hot overdraft they took in others' name by issuing another check against that deposit loan. So that way they managed. So this is a new type of fraud. His idea. So he told, sir, I did. Anyway, he was put to the police and prosecution was done. He was in jail custody. He paid back the entire amount to the bank. So this type staff involvement. Likewise, many others such type of unique type of frauds are happening in the bank, and with the involvement of the staff. Besides the other, nowadays in the technology area, you might be knowing how the frauds are happening. So for each and every things is early detection is very much necessary, prevention is necessary, and checking is there. And from auditor points of view, friends, I say that while working as vigilance officer of the bank, I got some different perceptions, because 33 years I worked in various capacity, including the big credit of the bank, of the country, you can say, and agricultural finance, SME, everything. But coming to the vigilance department, people, internal staff members and all these things, some different attitude of looking the vigilance officers are there. Frankly speaking, friends, while working as, even for the auditors are also there. Auditors or, see, I don't say, some different types of attitude they play while auditing the bank accounts, and bankers are also fearful. So here, while as a vigilance, I told, friends, vigilance officers means I am not a punishment officers. We are your friends. We are the friends of these are the things, areas we have seen, and to protect you. It should be, if it is happened or future happening, it can be eradicated in the root level. Similarly, friends, from my perception, I will be telling, I have got so many good auditors, and I am having special respects for auditors, many auditors with whom I have dealt with, and I have learned a lot. And friends, lastly, I will say, it requires a collaboration everywhere. See, nowadays banking has proceeded much, and many fold deposits and advances and business it was not possible without collaboration with the private and technical agencies, as well as in-house building as well as in the same way. So in the audit field also, we also, or vigilance field also, what we felt, it requires a collaboration. There's no fear factor should be created. And if any fear factor is created, that should be also addressed at the proper time. So that is my perception. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to stand before all of you learned professionals and qualified persons, and thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, please. Yeah. I cannot.
Advanced things that you are doing for it. Like, I understand in a very simple way that if a fraud happens, then the majority of the frauds will be because of one of these three reasons. One is that the SOP is not being followed. It might be that SOP is there, but there's some loopholes, some shortcoming in the SOP, which is not taking care of one of the areas which should be plugged. I believe I'm audible without the mic also, but still I'll repeat the question I was having. Now, what I understand in a very simple way is that if there's a fraud is happening in the bank or in any of the banking transactions, one of the reasons might be, in majority of cases I'm talking of, one of the reasons might be that the SOP is not being followed. Or it may be that the SOP is there, but there's some loophole, some gap in the SOP, which should be plugged. And because of that, whatever fraud or mistakes, whatever is happening. And thirdly, it might be because of lack of integrity or carelessness of the staff members. I believe these are the three major reasons. Maybe there were some other reasons which I am not aware of. Now, my question is very simple, that since we all, in a very simple way also, if you think, instead of being a very advanced professional without advanced knowledge, we know that these are the simple reasons. Then what is stopping us? Obviously, technology has developed. There is various areas. Because of the technology, some areas are coming up every day. Certain challenges are coming up, which is the cause of the fraud. But it is not known to us from early experience. So new challenges are coming up in the technology because of advancement technology. Some frauds are happening. But beside that, like you said, the case study you have shared with us, there also it was lack of integrity of the staff member. Now, in those cases, why after so many years of experience of the senior bank people or the banking organizations, why you are not even to handle this in a right way?
Friends, I understand your question, and the answer is in your question itself. First, you told that SOP. Yes, SOP is there, and SOP is being followed also. Still, frauds are happening because, again, you told about the integrity. So, not the main reason. It is many reasons are there, and if I tell 10 reasons, tomorrow another 5 reasons will be cropped up. So one thing is integrity and human intervention. So top management is doing and are very much concerned about this, that on all banks to reduce the human intervention to the maximum extent. It is not only in the bank, everywhere. Take about municipal tax clearance or UIDAI system, that is the direct cash benefit system. So prior to that, so bank is also trying, other than SOP, trying to reduce the human intervention also. But whether that will also will check, I say no. Again, continuous surveillance, monitoring, and continuous watchfulness and timely detection is very, very much required. It will be there. Thank you, friends. See, the area is very vast regarding technology use and other things. If I want to say, I told about one institution, National Forensic Science University, having its office in the Ahmedabad. Now in the 4 states it is operating. They are doing excellent job, and they have brought technologies. Today in the time shortage, I could not present one technology, BIOS technology they are bringing. So for detection of the criminal mind, experiencing the experience. For that is a unique system, and from the all Asian countries, people are sending their top executives and top level police officers for the training to the Ahmedabad. I was a part of that also in one training. So it is excellent, and people, our country is working and in this front. Other than this the state machineries or earlier central machinery, that NFCCU. Thank you very much. If chances comes, I will present those things, very interesting, not only BIOS, many other technologies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a nice and vivid presentation. So now I would like to introduce our next speaker for the technical session, CMA CSJK Budhiraja sir. Sir is a cost and management accountant and company secretary and fellow members of two institutes, the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Presently, sir is an CEO, ICMAI, MARF. In past, he has worked with the Institute of Cost Accountants of India as Senior Director, Technical Director, Professional Development and Training and Placement. He had also worked as CEO, Insolvency Professional Agency of the Institute as its founder, CEO. He was also member of advisory committee constituted by Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India on corporate insolvency resolution process and liquidation. He was also member of working group of IBBI that drafted rules and regulations on insolvency and bankruptcy for individual and partnership and personal guarantors of corporates. Apart from working with the institute for 10 years, Sir also has worked in many reputed PSUs. As practicing insolvency professional, he has handled 12 cases under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 for corporate insolvency resolution process. He is a regular speaker for various seminars and conferences conducted by the Institute and many other reputed institutions. We welcome you, sir. So now I'd request Budhiraja sir for his presentation. Sir, please.
Thank you, madam, for introductions. So good evening to all of you. So this is my privilege to be here amongst you because this is not the first time I am addressing here. So I addressed earlier also. So first of all, I will thank Chattopadhyay sir for giving me the opportunity. And also madam is there. At that time also I presented this how to prepare for the examination of the insolvency limited insolvency examination of the respective Amal Das sir and Ghosh sahab also there, Ranjit Ghosh sir, I also worked. So Abhijit Dattaji, and this chairman of the PD committee of the EIRC and other my senior members and other my colleagues. So first of all, that before I start, I would just like to know that how many of you are interested to become the insolvency professional, so that I can mold the presentation accordingly. Because you know that if many of you are not that much of interested, then I will restrict my presentation in that way that it can be completed by 6:30 itself. But I am sure that many of you are here to listen to me and eager to be insolvency professionals. So are any of you working as a insolvency professional? Yes, sir.
You generate fast counts then. Don't ask me. I also had to say that first of all, probably there are a huge audience listening to the YouTube.
Yes, sir.
For them also you can
Yes, yes.
Secondly, maybe after the presentation, people like me who might not be interested now get the interest.
Good, very good. So I will also welcome all my this YouTube audience also. So they are also there, and many of the YouTubers also interested to become the insolvency professional. So I will mold the presentation accordingly, no issue. So let me open my presentation. Anyway, so I think there is some problem.
Anyway, so my presentation, first slide saying no issue. This way forward to become the insolvency professional. So, आपका वो है जो कॉलर माइक? Not color mic? Anyway, वो slide changer है? वो जरा slide लगा लो. So I hope that if I am making the presentation, all of you must be interested to become the insolvency professional. This insolvency professional does not mean that you only work as an insolvency professional, because there are lot many opportunities which are available in the NCLT also and NCALT, because being a cost accountant also, you can appear on behalf of the client to in the insolvency professional. How many of you already represented the client in the NCLT? Anybody? No? So are you aware that this opportunity you have? Okay, you also appeared? Okay. So my presentation will be, I will give you very brief on the pre-IBC era and what was the position of the insolvency and the bank liquidations. Earlier you might have not heard this bankruptcy. Now the insolvency and bankruptcy code is there. So can anybody tell what is the difference between the insolvency, bankruptcy, liquidations, anybody, and winding up? Insolvency. Because many of us confuse insolvency with the insolvent. Is the insolvency same as insolvent? It is not. So what is the difference actually? If we say no.
No, difference I cannot tell you for sure because I have studied this thing in detail.
Okay.
But from common sense, I can say that insolvent person who has no money or asset to pay for some loan or something. In this case, it's not the fact, maybe not totally true, because some of the assets are there, but that is to distribute among the debtors, creditors, and that is to plan out how this will be done. If it can be industry, it can be revived also. The organization can revive that also. I have to look into.
Okay.
So though somebody has to be there as a monitor, as a custodian of those things, who has to plan this and say that there's amicable settlement between the creditors, debtors, and even the other stakeholders actually. So this insolvency is about all that actually. It's not about our insolvent person.
Okay. So I will just give you the live example. No. You have given a very good this explanation. There is no doubt at all, because you are not aware about the new era. But as you are aware about the Companies Act already, so you have given the perspective as per the Companies Act 1956. I will not say 2013, because the 2013 now contains the provisions of the Insolvency and the Bankruptcy Code. So earlier, if you know, the Companies Act for section 433E, subsection E was there. In that section 433, you have saw that this winding up procedures was there. So winding up was not immediately, because that was based on the inability to pay the debt. What was the amount to pay the inability to pay the debt? Was 500 only. And as a student, I was wondering why the Act has given only the 500 rupees. When the person can be, pay more than 500, it is saying only the 500. The reason was that a person, if he is not able to pay 500 rupees, that means he is insolvent or he is a sick. He cannot make the payment to the other creditors. So that's why the company net worth was seen, that 50% of the net worth, the effective net worth has been eroded. Then that company can refer to the BIFR, this Board of Industrial Finance restructuring, for the restructurings. So now this restructuring procedures has come into the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code only. So first of all, that this new era we will touch why the IBC was introduced and implemented, and then we will touch upon very small, brief provisions of IBC 2016 and the amendment made later on, and the advantages of the code over the SURFACE Act. because of the SARFAESI, everybody is aware that the SARFAESI is still there. And banks, because my banker is also there, so who know that SARFAESI, he will always prefer the SARFAESI over the IBC. So why the IBC is preferred over the SARFAESI, I will tell. Then who can become the insolvency professional and the eligibility criteria for passing the examination. And then we will do the analysis, because when I passed the insolvency, this limited insolvency examination in 2017, this because you know that this act has come on 1st December 2016. So this act was passed by the parliament and got the assent of the President of India on 26th May 2016. Because you know this is not the act, this is a code. What is the difference between the code and the act? Anybody? Yes. So, because you know that insolvency and the bankruptcy was not the new subject. It was the consolidation of the previous acts. That's why it is a code, like Civil Procedure Code, Criminal Procedure Code. So this was not the act. It is a code. It has comprises all this individual insolvency as well as the corporate insolvency. Then we will elaborate, because you know that I was just discussing, when I passed the examination, that time 40% marks was there for this insolvency and bankruptcy code, including the regulations. And 60 marks was there for other acts like Companies Act, LLP, Partnership Act, Transfer of Property Act, like that these acts are there. So now the focus totally has changed. So now they are not saying that you have only the theoretical knowledge of the act or the code. You should, because when I say the act or the code, I will interchangeably say it is act, IBC act also, because there is no difference in the code and the act. Only the difference which I said, it is a consolidation of all the acts. That's why it is called the code. Otherwise, it is act itself. So we will say and now what has happened that they have changed the weightages. They have now put the weightage 70% on the comprehension. So when the comprehension is there, you already have the knowledge. If you read the act or the code 1, 2 or 2 times, you can attempt 70% of the questions. But you should read the questions by understanding the provisions. If you are not understanding the provisions, you will not be able to attend the comprehension. So then there are examination center in Calcutta, then Bhubaneswar also. Then there are all across India, many centers are there. And from where you can download this soft copies of the act and the regulations. There is no need to purchase the code, because you know that every day codes get changed. So if you purchase the act today, tomorrow it will change. Again, you have to go to the site and download the amendments. And that is IBBI, and this site is there, who always act. If today is the change, they will update tomorrow and they will give you the consolidated one. And they will put also when the provision has changed and why the provision was changed. This you can happen. See this site. Then I will give you the preparation tips. Then important provisions relating to the corporate insolvency process, liquidation, voluntary liquidations, individual insolvency, and the penalty clauses also there. Because you know that when I was passing the exam, I was very much confused about the penalty clauses. Now I have given in one slide. If you see the penalties, it is a very, very easy now. You can understand. Nowadays, they are not asking the questions on the penalty. Earlier, the penalty questions were many. Now the questions are on the code of conduct and the ethics which are to be followed by the insolvency professionals. Then opportunity under the insolvency and bankruptcy code. So as I mentioned in the beginning, earlier the provision of the insolvency was under winding up, and winding up was with the liquidations. Winding up is a procedure and liquidation is a statutory provision when the company's assets are sold and given to the stakeholders. Then SICA Act was there, that's a special act. Then the act was only to be monitored by the high courts. So now the corporate insolvency has shifted to IBC Act 2016, and there is no role of the court. Even the High Court does not have the role in this. Only the NCLT is the adjudicating authority, and the appellate authority is the this NCALT, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, and the appeal lies only to the Supreme Court, not to the High Court. And now the non-corporate insolvency was earlier there. This for the individuals, partnership firm, and the under, because you still know that Presidency Town and Insolvency Act was there for the individuals, and the Provincial Insolvency Act 1920 was also there. It has though been repealed, but provisions has not been notified by the IBBI so far for the individuals. So what is the difference in both the act? Under the Presidency Towns Insolvency Act, this was applicable for the metro cities. Earlier the metro cities was Delhi, Madras, then Chennai. Now the Chennai is Madras become the Chennai, Kolkata, then one more this Bombay. So these were the four city, metro city, where the four this act one was applicable, presidential towns. Other than this four act, cities, other act was there, provincial. So now this will be shifted when the IBC, this IBBI will notify the provisions under the individuals. So still only the corporate provisions are there for the insolvency, not for the individuals. Only one provision is there for the individual, that you may be aware, the personal guarantors of the corporate. You might have heard this name of this Anil Ambani, who is dragged into the personal insolvency. So these are the act made for them only. Why they have come? Because I am having the short time, I will not go into the detail, but I will say that this personal insolvency act is there for the individuals who have given the guarantees to the banks, and they have not honored the bank guarantee. That's why the bank can drag them to the insolvency along with this company also. So when can both can happen? Yes, it can happen simultaneously also. Once he made the payment, he will become the creditors, and he will also submit the claims to the company that he has made the payment. So this is a long process actually. So what is why this act has come? Because you know that I know that when I was working with the Hindustan Fertilizers, so that company was sick. I joined the Hindustan Fertilizer in 1982, and the government was funding. My salary was being paid out of the plan loan, and the company, this Ministry of Fertilizer was giving the loan. But this company became the sick. But that time, if you know that only the BIFR was applicable to the private companies, not to the PSUs. When the Rajiv Gandhi government has come and Manmohan Singh ji was there as a finance minister, he has also extended the BIFR to the PSUs. And I was also, because I was working with the Hindustan Fertilizer, I referred this company in 1992 to the BIFR. When this verdict has come, when this act was implemented on 1st December, they have given the verdict on 30th November 2016. That time, the value of all the assets gone. So how much period has taken due to this BIFR? BIFR was not at all effective to the companies. That's why this act is a time-bound process. They have given the procedure for each and every activities, and the activities are being monitored not by the IPA but also by the IBBI as a regulator. So this is the time-bound process, and it focused on the maximization of the values for the stakeholders, and objective is that resolution plan should be there. Resolution plan is nothing, it is a restructuring plan of the company. When the earlier it was saying it was being said that it is a restructuring plan, now it is said that it is a resolution plan. And the acceptable resolution plan is received, and that maximizes the value of all the stakeholders. So many stakeholders there, because all of you are the professional, you know that who are the stakeholders of the company, including promoters, the shareholders, creditors, debtors, all are the stakeholders who are having the business with the company. They are the stakeholders. So that maximizes the value of all the stakeholders. And also the resolution plan should balance the interest of all the stakeholders, realistic drawn, and suggested the measures to implement. If the resolution plan is submitted and that is not be implemented by anybody, that is not an acceptable resolution and it will not be accepted by the NCLT also. So these are the part of the insolvency code. This part 1 is having the preliminary, part 2 is having the corporate insolvency, part 3 deals with the individual, and part 3A was introduced, pre-packaged insolvency also. There is a difference between the normal PS, the normal CIRP and the pre-packed insolvency. I will explain the difference later on. Then the regulations are being done under the part 4. Part 4 is already implemented and part 5 is a miscellaneous one. So this I told you in the beginning, this is a consolidation of all the act. So these acts were amended. Why these acts were amended? Ghosh Sahab is aware why this act was amended. Anji, Sanjeev Ghosh Sahab, why this act was amended by the IBC? What is the difference between the Income Tax Act and the IBC? Income Tax Act, if you see that if you don't pay the income tax, there was a provision in the income tax itself and the Excise Act also. Many acts contains the same provision that if you don't pay the dues to the government, this can be recovered as a land revenue. You know, so that means all the acts were having the overriding provision over each other. So now, if that act was having that provision, that means the Insolvency Act will not have the overriding provision. To have the overriding provisions, they have removed this provision from all the acts. So that's why these acts were changed. If you see this one, blue one, the provisions of this section shall have the effect notwithstanding anything contained to the contrary contained in any other law for the time being in force. That means whatever the acts are there, if they have any contrary provisions over this IBC Act will prevail. So why this act was come? So I will explain you in giving the example of the Hindustan fertilizers. So in India, the average recovery was there only 26%. From the 100 rupees, 26 is also very much a good amount. But that time, this is the average amount. 26% out of 100 rupees was being recovered by the. And in the China, this recovery was about 38%. And in Brazil, it is at 21.5%. And in Russia, it was around 90%. Not Russia. Russia is around 41%. Japan, 90%. And US was around 81%. And UK was at about 85%. So this was the recovery rate if the company goes into the liquidations, how much they can recover. So this was the position when this act came. And average period which was being taken by all this BIFR was around 4.3 months in the case of the BIFR. And in China, it is around 1.7, or I will say it may be 1.8 also. And Brazil, it is around 4 years. And Russia, it is 2.1 years. And Japan, it is only 6 months. And UK, it was 1.5. And UK is only 1 year. So these are the statistics. That's why the government had to think to bring out the act which gives the maximized value to all the stakeholders and reduce the time period. So what is the time period now? They have prescribed only 180 days for the normal and for the fast track 90 days only. But these are not being adhered to. They have interpreted this court, interpreted them as per their advantages. So this, like NCLT, they have given that they have to accept the application if the application is filed within 14 days. Many applications are there. They are not able to see the applications on a daily basis. If you see the cause list, there are how many this NCLT are there in Delhi. There were, when I was working as an insolvency professional, there was 3 NCLT benches were there. Now there are 9 benches in Delhi itself. In Bombay, there was only 1 bench. There are now, I think, 6 or 5 or 6 benches are there. Likewise, Chandigarh, you will not know that how many benches are there, and these benches are working. Now they have constituted the other bench also. Third bench is being set up by the government. So that means there are a number of cases are coming to and they are loaded with so many applications they are not able to see. If you see the NCLT site on a daily basis, you will find around each bench is dealing with 50 to 60 cases per day. So they have to sit in the morning and finish it by 1 o'clock, and in the evening they have to give the order also. So that means how much they are loaded with this. So they have interpreted that this 14 days period will be considered only when they considered the application, not the pendency. So they said that whatever the period they have given, this is not the mandatory, this is directory provisions contained in the act. They will act as per, but Supreme Court also come with some of the clarification that they have to record the reason why they were not able to clear the pendency within 14 days time. So these were the figures which I have given you earlier. So there are some more countries also there. South Africa, they were taking 2 years. Then Pakistan also taking very less period as compared to India. It is 2.7. And the Brazil and India, I have given the previous one also. So now I told you, can I take the water? Very bottle then. I told you that normal insolvency is to be completed within 90 days. 180 days. And the fast track, it is 90 days. So what is the difference between this fast track and the normal one? Fast track is the startup, some has established, some other company has the joint venture with other company. The objective of that working with or collaboration with that company is over. And then they can distribute the assets. So then it will be 90 days. And this is the optional. This is not the mandatory that they opt only 90 days. But the 180 days are the normal period. If somebody files the application and admitted, then from the admission of the application, 180 days will start. And then there are procedure that 30 days is there. And then within 150 days, what type of the activity has to be done. So 30 days they have given. I will give you the slide of that also. And then the maximum one-time extension can be given. As for the extension of day, then only 1 day extension will be there. You will not be eligible to extension. So that means all the company, whenever they file the application, they get the 90 days. I have not seen any of the case where anybody has got the extension less than 90 days. So that's, earlier this was to be completed 180 days, because when government has saw that they are not able to complete, and some of the cases were there in the Supreme Court also, then this MCA has come out with the amendment in the Act and the Code. They said they must complete this insolvency within 330 days time. This includes their proceedings, legal proceedings as well. But it's still not being followed by the Supreme Courts or the NCALT, because there are many cases are there. But still procedure is working very well. The Supreme Court, this was during the COVID, so they said that the COVID period will not be counted within 180 days. That was there. And then jurisdictions, I told you, for the NCLT is the adjudicating authority. Application can be filed only in the NCLT. And if somebody has any of the objection or they are not satisfied with the order of the NCLT, the appeal will lie with the NCALT. And if the NCALT is also not able to solve, or the appeal is to be filed, that appeal will file to the Supreme Court. The court and the civil court doesn't have any jurisdiction over this. And DRT, because I told you that insolvency, individual insolvency has not come so far, the DRT also adjudicating authority for the individuals. Since they have not come, they are dealing with only the SURFACE Act. Still they are dealing. And their appellate authority is DRAT. This appellate is. So these were the amendments. I am not going through the amendment because it will take time. So you can read. I will provide my slide to you. There is no issue. So why this act has come? Because I will give you very, very small, because section 29A is very, very important section. Earlier this section was not there in the IBC, because when I was working with the one of the case of the Uttam Steel, that Uttam Steel was prompted by one of the promoter itself that you file the insolvency against me and I will take over the company on, because that company was having a value of more than 250 crore and they were interested to on this company with 100 crore rupees only to write off all the loans and penalties, whatever the banks were there. A bank himself was suggested that you go for the insolvency, and they filed the application and we were appointed as a interim resolution professional. And there is a difference between the interim resolution professional and the resolution professional. So interim resolution professional is the person who is appointed only for 30 days to complete the initial activities like giving the public notifications, collecting the claims, and then constituting the committee of creditors. So he has to complete the work within a 30 days time only. And all the activities has been defined for the interim resolution professional. Once his job is over, then in the meeting itself, he will propose the name, either himself or somebody else can be appointed by the committee of creditors. Committee of creditors roles are like a board of directors. So though he is a CEO of the company, once he will be appointed as an interim resolution professional, so he will go to the company, take over all the assets, he will take the seat of the managing director. He can also displace that all the promoters. So he will take care of all things of the company. So all the acts, everything has to be done by him only. So as a CEO of the company, and he will constitute the committee. So because you know that he has to constitute the committee of the creditors, and committee of creditors will come only when he constitutes the committee, and the committee is this approved by the NCLT. So NCLT approval has to be obtained by him within a 23 days time. So within 7 days time, after issuing of the notice, he has to conduct the meeting and get the name of the other approved also, either himself or others. So now there are some procedures change that I will give you when the slides come. So this 29A was there that promoters were eligible to bid for their company. When this 29 was there, then they saw that many of the promoters, they start taking the company, the 6% margin. One case was in Hyderabad when Mamta Binani madam was there. She has one company was under this ARC, Edelweiss. So this company, they have taken the loan by the Edelweiss, and that company, they have given it to Edelweiss on 6% only. So 94%, they said the amount is written off, and nobody will get any of the amount. So then many of the other things also come, like JP group of company also come. So then they saw there is manipulations in the act itself. Then they revised that they said that section 29, if they are covered under section 29, if they are their loan is NPA and they have not paid the amount within 1 year's time, so then they will be not eligible to bid for their company. So first of all, they have to clear the loan, then they will be eligible. If they have to clear the loan, then what is the use of that insolvency for them? So that's why section 29 was introduced in November itself. And then this was replaced by 18th Act in 18th January. Then second amendment was very, very important when this home buyers was added. You saw that in August 14, there was one problem that all the Noida, flat owners, they have represented to the government, and the Supreme Court also they have represented for this JP that they were not getting the these flats, and they said that they will not give any flats. So that's why earlier only two creditors were there in the insolvency and bankruptcy. First creditors were financial creditors and the operational creditors, and the other creditors was not there. The flat buyers was neither the operational creditors nor the financial creditor. As a result, they were not able to file any application for the insolvency. That the government has to come for the act that they have included one other creditors also. They are make the eligible, and the form was introduced. But later on, this was also not working. That's why the government has said this home buyer will be treated as a financial creditors. Not the operational, not the others. They will be treated as a financial creditors. And the majority of the decision earlier was being taken by the 75%. But that was not working. Many of the company was not able to take because the majority was short. In many of the cases, it was only 72%, 71%. The government then said that it will be approved by 66% instead of 75%. And then a special resolution was to be passed. The special resolution, what is the majority of the special resolution? It is 75%. So they have to approve 75%, and the special resolution can be passed by the company in the shareholder meeting only. Okay. So this, they said this, they have provided the relief to the MSME from the section 29A. That even only two provisions was exempted to the MSMEs. One was relating to the NPA of 1 year. If they have defaulted for the NPA, they still will be eligible to bid for their company. And second was the corporate guarantee. If they have given, they were eligible. Other provisions were applicable for them also. So other provisions I already told. 330 days was amended, and then one more amendment was made for the authorized representative AR. So AR, if you see the flat owners, there are many this year's flat owners, more than 500, 600. Then if all the person are to be called, there is a cost to the company also. So what they have done, that AR policy, they said that AR will do the voting on behalf of the flat owners. If 50% of the flat owners give the majority decision that this resolution should be given assent, then only he will give the assent yes, otherwise he will not give the assent. So this is also in the public notice only. So only the person who is working as an insolvency professional, he will be acting as a AR, otherwise nobody. And AR is not only for the home buyer, it is for the class of creditors. The class of creditors may be debenture holders, depositors, so many others are there who are not able to, because their number is large. So AR working is for them only. So like that, this pre-packaged insolvency has come. This is the pre-package, means the new for the normal insolvency, the procedure is there that they have to submit the resolution plan. Resolution plan has to be approved by the majority of the creditors. Then only will come. But in this case, the pre-package means that they will first go for this insolvency without referring the application in the NCLT. They will approve the resolution plan, a base resolution plan. And if the base resolution plan is approved by the committee of creditors, then it will be moved to the NCLT for approval. So this is the period is shortened also in this only 120 days. 30 days for the approval of the base resolution and 90 days for the NCLT. So which is very, very effective one also. Many of the MSMEs, because it is applicable only to the MSMEs, not to the others. So I was just talking about what is the difference between the insolvency, bankruptcy and liquidations. So bankruptcy, when I say the bankruptcy, when I say the insolvency is a state when the company is not able to make the payments for the current operation also. So that means the company become the sick. Like me, so if I become the sick, I will take the medicine. And medicine is in the form of the resolution plan. So if the resolution plan is not approved, then it will come to the bankruptcy. So bankruptcy is a procedures over the insolvency, and this is a legal procedures. So this bankruptcy will happen for the corporate as well as for the individuals. But for the liquidation, because company is a statutory person, so for this company, they have to liquidate the assets. Then if the company is there, then liquidation procedure will be there. So this will be there. This insolvency precede the bankruptcy and the liquidation, and insolvency is the drop in sale. Then they are not able to make the payments, delay in making the payments. So these are the symptoms of the insolvency. So earlier, when you saw that erosion of the net worth 50%, then they were eligible to make the application to the BEIFR. Now the procedure is not like that. First you have to go for this corporate insolvency procedure. If that fails, then only you will move to the liquidation. Otherwise, you will not move to the appeal. But there is one procedure. If during the insolvency procedure or the resolution professional is of the opinion that a company cannot be revived, then he can move to the NCLT for the liquidation within a period of 180 days itself. But first of all, the application has to be there for the CIRP only. So this is the ecosystem of the insolvency. First, the insolvency bankruptcy board is, this is the apex regulator, and then insolvency agencies. There are 3 insolvency agencies as of now in India. One is by the institute itself, where I was the founder CEO. I established this company. And there is one more company run by this chartered accountant, and third is the company secretary. Because capital is very much required there. We have invested 11 crore rupees for our company. Company secretary, they have invested 14 crore. And chartered, they have invested 10 crore only. Because why we have invested 11 crore? Because there is one provision that the net worth of the company shall not be less than 10 crore at any moment, any point of time. So if I am making the payments for the salary or other things, so my net worth will come down. So that means we have kept the provision for the operational expenses so that our net worth should not come to less than 10 crore. So that was the reason. And then information utility is also there. Like he may be aware that for bankers, they have to rely on the information utilities, whatever they certify. So their information utilities, they have to file this. This is as of now applicable for the financial creditors, not the operational creditors. They have to, their application can be admitted by the NCLT only when they are registered with this information utilities. Otherwise, they will not admit the application, but the operational creditors may file the application. And the insolvency professionals. So we are saying insolvency professional information. Why we are not saying the interim resolution professional or the liquidator or the voluntary liquidator or bankruptcy professional? So insolvency professional is the person who can be the interim resolution professional. He can be the resolution professional. There is a procedure for each of the things. He can be appointed. First, he has to be appointed as an interim resolution professional. If the company goes into the liquidation, then he can be appointed as a liquidator. If the company opted for the voluntary liquidation, then he will be called as a voluntary liquidators. So like that for these individuals, if individual is there, then he can be called as a insolvency professional interim, because that same procedure is there in the individual. If you have seen it, they know used to this study full act. Only if you see section 33 up to or the corporate, then all the act you will memorize. There no need to go for this 240 sections. So that means this insolvency professional can represent, or he can be any of the capacity, but procedure for each one is different for the appointment. But insolvency professional has to be, examination is there. If he passed the examination, then only will become the insolvency professional, otherwise no. And committee of creditors, I told you, it is like a board of directors. And the insolvent entity, once insolvency procedure is completed, liquidation is done, then company will become the insolvent. They will not be able to pay the debt to anybody, and that this is legal procedures. And if the company is there, this Companies Act will declare them that company is wind up and their name has been struck down by the registrar of companies. And if the individual there, then individual also has to move to the DRT. Then they will give the decree that this is no more now person who has to pay. Now he is not undischarged insolvent. If you are seen, so he has been discharged. That's why he will become the legal person who can opt for any other company also. So if you have seen that there is one eligibility that he should not be the undischarged insolvent. So that means if he has discharged, then he can be the insolvency professional. So these are the company who can file the applications with the against the company. This company is LLP, other body, corporate also. Anybody can file the application. For the individual also, anybody can file. If I am not paying, because the procedures has not been notified so far, the insolvency against me cannot be there. But if procedures are there, if I am not able to pay that, somebody can file the application against me, then he will become the interim resolution professional, and the resolution professional like that, and the 180 days time will be there. So these are the procedure for the CIRP. कितना टाइम हो गया भाई? 6:15 बज गए. मैं तो खत्म कर दूंगा. आप कह रहे थे ज्यादा. So I will just request you hold your question for
I'm just simple thing. I'll just request
5
you
to 10 minutes. Let me complete the two slides. Then we will come to your questions.
Sure.
So hope I will be able to give your answer in my slide itself. Okay. So this is the procedures which I told you that in the Companies Act, when the earlier provisions were there, that was based on the inability to pay the debt. Now this is not based on the inability to pay the debt. It is based on the default. If the company has made the default, if they are not making the payment, default will be in the form of NPA also. They have not made the payment. That's why the company's NPA has become. If the person is not able to pay that means earlier the default amount was 1 lakh rupees for the corporate. So, but 1 lakh rupees, if you have not paid the audit fees of 1 lakh rupees, the auditors were filing, some other suppliers were filing. So everybody was filing the application against, and as a result, lakhs of applications were there. During the COVID period, the government has come out the default amount from 1 lakh to 1 crore rupees. So now the application admission is less. But there was one provision, if the application has already been filed by some of the suppliers or auditors or somebody, but that application will not be rejected, and that application will be approved by the NCLT and admit the application. But this will be procedure will applicable only when I think it came in March 2020, I think. So I will give you that. So these are the default amount. And if who can file the application, I told you, financial creditors, operational creditors, or other creditors. And resolution professional, I told you, anybody can be the resolution who has been admitted, who has been registered as a insolvency professional. And the moratorium will start. What is the moratorium? Section 14 of the IBC Act, this is very important for the examination as well. So moratorium will be there. If application is filed, then all the suits, arbitrations will stand. You will not be able to enforce your debt. Even if you are having the decree with you, you cannot enforce against the company. If the arbitration is there, arbitration will be there. But once the arbitration, they have given the decree, the person can file the application to the resolution professional as a claim against the company. But that decree cannot be enforced in the High Court or the Supreme Court as per the amount. So that means this moratorium will be there where the institution of the suits, transfer of the assets, foreclosure of recovery, this is SARFAESI Act will also not be applicable in that case, and any other, and that you cannot recover the assets from the debtors. So why we are saying that debtors are corporate debtors? There are difference in the two. To segregate, the corporate debtor are the corporate person, and if I say the debtor, that is individual or the partnership firm or the Hindu undivided family. So this is the procedures. First, resolution process will be there, default will be there, appointment of IRP will be there, then moratorium will start, and then 66% approve the resolution. Then it will be, if yes, then the company will be revived. If they don't file, then company will go to liquidation. This is automatic here. And if the resolution plan is accepted, then it will be implemented. Implementation within a 1 year time. And then if the company is not able to file, then it will goes to the liquidation. This is the procedures. So this 30 days time, I told you, this is the 30 days time within which IRP has to complete all these are the public notice, claim collations, constitution of the committee, AR you were asking, this appointment of the AR within 2 days of his appointment. Okay, so these are has to be completed within 30 days. Earlier there was a provision that if 30 days time no IRP is appointed, then we will not act as a RP. Because there was some problem in that way, because if nobody is appointed as a RP, then who will handle the job of the company, who will operate the company? In that case, there was an amendment that if they said, if the RP is not appointed within a 40 days period, then he will act as a RP till the new RP join. Otherwise, he will become RP himself. Okay, this is the thing. So these are the advantages. I am not discussing the advantages. What are the advantages over the SARFAESI Act? So you can yourselves can see. And who can become the insolvency professional? Very, very important. So with a 10 years experience as a member of the institute, of 3 institute, this chartered, CMA or CS, they can become the insolvency professional. But there is a procedure to pass the examination. Once you pass the examination, then only you will be admitted, otherwise no. But if there is a 10 years experience for the advocate also. So, because you know that many of our members are there who are not the member of the institute. If they file the application, their application will be rejected. Why? Because they are not working as a professional, COP holders. So that means regular membership should be there. If a person is working in a company and if he want to register as a insolvency professional, for that person, if this criteria will be 15 years. He has to be in the supervisory capacity of 15 years in a company. And the supervisory, earlier admission was there of the section officers also in the government. But now they are very rigorously seeing how many persons are working under you, what type of the work you have done as a supervisory, then only you will get the registration, otherwise no. You can pass the examination, but your application will be rejected. So this, pass the examination. If you pass the examination, earlier there was unlimited validity. If you pass the examination, like I have passed during my, as a senior directors, so eligibility was there that time. But they have reduced the eligibility that if you pass the examination, this will be valid for 12 months. To register as an insolvency professional within a period of 12 months. So earlier there was no limit to appear in the examination. So as a result, suppose if I want to pass the examination, everybody was booking the slot for 10 because only 1,000 rupees was there. He was paying 10,000 rupees. If he is not able to pass the examination today, he will appear tomorrow. So now this has also been said, you cannot appear. There will be cooling period of 2 months period. That means you can appear in examination only 6 times only in a year. And the period is 12 months only, validity.
After that, never I can appear.
No, there is no, I mean, year, you can appear an unlimited time.
But after 12 months, again, you have to take a fresh.
There is earlier the fee was 1,000, then they raised it to 1,500. Now fees is 5,000 plus GST, it will be 5,900. Okay? One attempt. One time. So very costly.
Better to get prepared and then appear. Better not take chances.
So earlier the questions, they were giving around 85 questions, and some questions was of 2 marks, and 2 marks was of generally of comprehension type only questions. So now they have reduced the questions also. You can read the questions, and now 65 questions are there. 30 questions will be of 1 mark, and 35 questions will be of 2 marks. So when I say the 2 marks, this is of the comprehension. Comprehension is a very, if I show you the comprehension, you will see that if you have read once only this code, you will be able to attempt this 70% questions. And you will be able to pass the question. So, because today time is very short, I am not able to tell that how to attempt the examination. But if you make this program again, I will give you the tips how to pass. And if today you are listening my presentation, you can pass tomorrow. So many of my students are of the institute are this council members. This president Sanjay Gupta is there. Then Namdeep Jain is there. Then Balsa, who is not now, is there. So he always admire, like whenever said that you are my guru, because he was the person. He was traveling with me when I was attending one meeting in Nagpur on the peer review board. Then he said, ये क्या बला है ये से मैंने उसको बोला ये कुणाल बनर्जी साहब जो है वो मेरे को एक दिन टेलीफोन किया और वो उस समय क्या था कि जो प्रोसीजर था उस समय एग्जामिनेशन नहीं था तो they have introduced a grandfathering approach. In the grandfathering approach they have given this registration to those CMA, CA or CS who are having an experience of 15 years as a member. So as a result then 10 person from our group, this institute, they registered as, and Kunal Banerjee was one of them. So on appointment as a insolvency professional, on the next day, he was approached by one company asking him to become the insolvency, and he negotiated with the cost of 5 lakh rupees. So then he rang up at night, Budhi Raja, I have been appointed. I was just struggling to just get 1 lakh rupees for the cost audit, but I got 5 lakh rupees for 180 days only. I said, how you can accept 5 lakh rupees? This is a very onerous job. There are a lot of many responsibility. You should go for at least 1 crore 50 lakh. Then, रात को वो सो नहीं पाया. रात को वो कहता है कि मेरे को सवेरे 4 बजे टेलीफोन कर दिया, बुद्धिराज भाई तुम जो बोल रहे हो कि 1.5 करोड़ रुपए लेना है, और मैं 5 लाख में मैं इतना खुश हो रहा हूँ, तुम कह रहे 1.5 करोड़ रुपया, तुम्हारा दिमाग, तुम्हारा भेजा तो खराब नहीं हो गया. तुम्हारा भेजा तो खराब नहीं हो गया. मैंने कहा नहीं, भेजा खराब नहीं हुआ, तुम्हारे को कम लिया है पैसे, तो इतनी है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. यू कहने लगा यार वो तो मानेगा नहीं, कोई पता नहीं कौन था इसका, निपको थी, निपको वाली, तो उसमें निपको वाले का तो मानेगा नहीं, मुखर्जी साहब थे कुछ मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर, तो ही हैज नॉट टेकन ओवर द एसेट्स और ऑल द, उसको पता भी नहीं था. तो देन निपको वाले ने बोला कि भाई नहीं, तो वो बोला ये ऐसा है, मैं तो उससे बात नहीं कर सकता, ऑलरेडी दिस नेगोशिएटेड फॉर 5 लाख रुपीज, यू टेल हिम. देन ही जस्ट गिवन द मोबाइल टू हिम, you talk to him and he is saying that he will cancel my registration. So you just talk to him. Then I asked him, how can you pay only 5 lakh rupees? 5 lakh is for 10 days only. So this procedure can be completed for 1 crore 50 lakh. So uska to dimag kharab ho gaya. So then he said, then he negotiated with me for 90 lakh rupees. So when he negotiated for 90 lakh rupees, देन कुणाल बनर्जी सेंटर कहने लगा यार 90 लाख तो बहुत ज्यादा है, मैं उसको जो है 75 का कर दिया. He was not able to digest. So anyway, so this is not kind of the remuneration nowadays, because many of us already ruined this. Now they are, all the banks are going for L1 system only. So many of IP, they have said, because they were not having the work, they said that they will work for 1 rupees only. So as a result, some of the insolvency professionals, they have got this work on 10,000, which should have been on a 10 lakh rupees. So this market is ruined by our insolvency professional itself. So as of now, total insolvency professional are 4,236, I think. There are 60, I think. So these are the statistics. I am not giving you the examination. I will provide you the system. These are the attempt. First, I passed the examination in this attempt. That time the result percentage was 22.53%. Now the second syllabus was changed. That time the difficulty level increased. It was 17.83%. Now gradually down. So, but now improve, because this is a short period up to September 2023 only, because this is for the July syllabus only.
But sir, after you give the tips, it will increase more.
तो मेरे जो एग्जामिनेशन वाले हैं ना, मेरे आपके जो हमारी वेबसाइट पे हैं, मेरे कई जगह पे टेलीफोन आता है कि जी सर आपके एग्जामिनेशन पास कर स्टूडेंट्स हैं, पता नहीं कहाँ के हैं, मालूम नहीं है. Anyway, so these are the syllabus. You can find the syllabus here itself. So I will give you the one tip that whenever you attempt for the examination, you see the sample questions and the syllabus, you read the syllabus very fully. What type of the question, because when I passed the examination, I was not aware, because I was just, कहते हैं ना घोड़े पे सवार है कि भैया मैंने पास करना ही है, because I was thinking that I was the member of this insolvency board and I know each and everything. That is not the case. Until and unless you read the question 1 to 3 times and understand very well, you will not be able to attempt the questions. Though I got in the first attempt 69% marks, but still that is not possible for all of you, because until and unless, because 60% is the pass marking. So 60% marking, you can get 60%, but there is a strategy. I have given you the strategy, how to attempt the examination. There is no need to read much. Only 1 or 2 times if you read the code, it will be in your mind and you can attempt the questions. So this syllabus is there, registration procedure is there, FAQs are there, and sample questions are there. So these are the registration procedures, and these are there no need to give any amount to the registration is free of cost. This piece is for appearing in the examination, 5,900. If you want to appear in the examination, you go for this registration process and opt for the center. So these are these are the centers available, and this is the syllabus. And you can, if you want a book, this is available on the Amazon itself. This is though it is 12.99, you can get at 50 rupees. So all the act, regulation, everything is there. Okay. So these are the 850 rupees. So this is the syllabus given, and tips is given here. So these are the how to read the and what are the sections. You read only these sections, nothing more than. So
Is this mentioned in your presentation?
this is the presentation. No? I will give you the presentation.
Please share it.
I will share this. This is I have done here a lot of things because this is not there. I have done a lot, because he given the time only 4 days. I spent my 4 days on this Saturday, Sunday, everything. This was not in my previous presentation, if you see. So these are what are the finance, because this finance and accounts, nobody was there. These are the only thing, if you are aware, you can pass the examination. And law, important law, how to study the law, nobody will give you the tip how to study the law. Okay, so this is the trick, and what are the marks, and how can you attempt. If you forget the questions on the law, how to remember that also I have given you. So these are the case studies. This is for 70 marks only. So 2 marks for each, 20 marks are there. So in this 40 marks is there for the corporate insolvency itself. If you saw my presentation lying on my IPA, many presentations are there. If you read them, that you can pass the examination. These are the pre-packaged also, only 4 marks are there, 8 questions. Likewise, these are the other questions. So 70% marks are there in this. So this is a limited, only the syllabus for this July is for those acts and regulations which has been amended up to March 31st, 2023. If any of the amendment has been made later on, you need not to study that one. So that means everything, all books, whatever are available, that are sufficient now. So this is the questions which I have given, how to attempt. I'm not able to tell you here now. So you can just, I have made the slide like that I can ask you the question and you will remember when you go to the attempting the questions. But these are the questions which I have given you. The type of the questions are there. You can see that. And these are the questions on the case laws. Case laws are, you need not to study all the case laws. They have given the list. Out of the list also only read 8 to 6, only they need to study all the case laws. So what are the important, if you see the questions, these are the repeated questions in all the, since 2017. Okay. So these are the questions if you read them. Just I am giving you these are the comprehension. If you read the comprehension, you will attempt himself today itself and you will give answer for all this comprehension. And 20 marks is there. So these are the application. I like when the rules were changed and this Kotak Mahindra was there. I was the member of this working group at that time. So these are the regulation and rules and regulation are available on the website and these act, rules, regulation, everything is there. Wherever you click, you can download the updated version. So these are the service providers. I told you, as of now, only 4,370 has registered as insolvency professional. How many chartered accountant, cost accountants, and CMS, CS are there? Only 4,370 has been registered so far. Lot of scope is there. So how to solve the questions, how to highlight, these I have been given, but it needs explanations. But I have given you the data how to study. But this you will find what will be the questions also. Okay, how the preparation. So एक क्या आपको वहाँ पे अटेम्प्ट करने के टाइम पे क्या मिस्टेक आएंगे. तो दिस आई वुड हैव गिवन. दिस इज द पर्सनल गारंटर आई वाज टेलिंग यू. This is the financial creditors. Banks are still not in this insolvency. Only NBFC are there. This has come only for the demand finance, this NBFC. So this is default amount is 500 crore or more. But in this case, RBI is to be referred. First, you have to take the approval of the RBI, then only you can file the application for the NBFC. So these are the roles of the resolution provision and the interim resolution, they more or less same. So section 29, I was given the ineligibility. So you can see this ineligibility, who cannot file this resolution professional. So these are the preferential transactions, resolution plan, offenses. I just jotted down in one slide itself. There is no need. You can see 25 pages of your IBC code. But here I have jotted down what is the situations, how we will remember this penalty clause. So these are I have jotted down. So this is the liquidation procedures, then liquidation assets, voluntary liquidations, fresh start, the individual asset. So this is the pre-package also. So if you see that how much I have put in this, so you can just see. So and I have given the comparisons also. What is the comparison with the normal CIRP and the PPIRP, this pre-packed insolvency. So this is available. So this is the opportunity which are available for the CMS. There is no need to become the IRP as a cost accountant, because as a cost accountant, I appeared many times in the NCLT, filed the applications for the company. You can go to the NCLT, file the application. You can appear on behalf of the operational creditors, financial creditors. There is no need to become the advocate. But advocates are being preferred by the judges, but still they will not refuse you. That they will not say that you are not eligible. You can go to them and appear on behalf of that. I appeared many times. So these are the opportunities available as a cost accountant, as a IRP also. So this you were asking me the fees. This is for the AR. This is if the flat buyers or the debenture holders are 10 to 100, then 15,000 they will get for each sitting, and then 20,000, and if there are more than 1,000, then 25,000.
But these fees are standardized by whom?
This is by the IBBI itself.
So it's enforceable on the people. I mean,
You can get more, but they have given the minimum fees.
this is enforceable.
Yes, this is enforceable. So these are the filing appearance as a CMA also. There is no problem. 10 में खत्म हो गया. बस खत्म हो गया. क्वेश्चन में खत्म कर रहा है. बस इसका खत्म हो गया. ये खत्म हो गया. ये फॉर्म है आपके. ये सारे आपके अपॉर्चुनिटीज अवेलेबल. ये खत्म कर दिया. थैंक यू टू ऑल. थैंक यू. You will not get the feel of that. I can tell because Madam is aware that I once conducted the course for this insolvency, but they are not serious. You will not be serious until unless you will given the practical examples.
We are from
So
that
I can
generation.
give you online. There no problem. So many sessions I could take on online. But
that
this
is true.
not online.
Because we are from that generation. In our generation, we are used to this sort of derivation.
So what is your question now?
Sir, basically what you have told us, you have taken too much pain to prepare this. I can understand, appreciate that. And I'll go through that if it's shared with me. But my question starts beyond this. Like you have told us, have given us a good idea about what this whole thing is about and how to pass the exams. But beyond that, my question is, suppose I pass the exams. Then as a practitioner, I'm more interested in the fruit, not the efforts. So what fruit Huh?
Are you done the LLB?
No, I have not done, sir. Suppose I get interested from today and I pass the exams maybe in the next 6 months' time. Now, my first question is that I can understand it's a very practical subject. It's not easy to actually perform just passing an exam. That's my belief. So I need to have some training. Maybe on hand, I must do one thing, maybe with a senior, a peer or someone. And how do I get that opportunity to do it with my own hands in a practice so that I can get equipped to handle it myself? First question. Okay. Second question, sir, is that suppose after one or two such things, maybe under you or maybe under Mr. X, I get an opportunity to do that. Like in forensic audit also, I believe that is very important. You have to have a hand-on experience. Just passing the exam is not good enough because there's so much practical aspects.
There's no need to pass the examination for the forensic. You can still get this. Many of Navneet is already doing
but whatever, before or after, I'm saying before or after, I need to do this. And then the question is that suppose after I go through this training procedure, whatever, then the question would be to how to get the clients. And that, as you say, there's too much responsibility involved. So I might need a team. I might need an engineer also at times. I might need a legal person, lawyer in my team. Because not everything I understand or know. Just passing the exam is good enough, I believe. So what I feel is that, I need to have a good team. I need to have a big organization sort of thing. I mean, maybe at least 15, 10 experts I need to have with me, maybe, to handle such because if I am demanding a fee of 1,50,000,000, it is not an easy job, I believe. So I need to have a team for that also. So how to organize? How can ordinary as a small professional like me, can go for all this? Can you tell us about a little bit? And how to get the clients?
Because I was not able to give you all the tips in this my presentation because of the time. The issue is that if you have been appointed as a interim resolution professional, this job is for 30 days. You have you are being allowed by the IBBI itself that the person you can appoint as per your choice. And the amount will be given, or the salary will be given by the company. If you want to continue with the same staff, it is your choice. If you don't want to continue with the old staff, because the directors will not be there and the promoters will not be there. Once this insolvency application is admitted, they will be out from the scene. So they will not get anything. They will not be invited. They will be invited as a invitee only. They will not be able to speak in the committee of creditors. They will be invited as a promoters, but they will not be eligible to speak in that. So that means, so this is your choice to run this insolvency professional. As an insolvency professional, you can appoint your finance manager, CFO, then other also. So this is available. And number 2 question is, so earlier, like me, if I was there, I was alone. I have not appointed anybody else. I handled 12 cases. Okay. In the 12 cases, there is not limited only one case. There are lot many opportunity. Not as a IP. This is further as a CEO, this cost accountant. You have not seen that opportunity. Because when I was working, because I retired from the institute in 2018. So later on, then I was given 2 works of the insolvency. One work was 8,50,000 per month plus 1 lakh rupees out of pocket expenses. And second work was 6,50,000 and both the works was going simultaneously. Huge amount was there. Okay. So this is the one thing. But we were having the tie-up with the one of the chartered or the cost accountant firm. We have taken the cost trainees also to work there because I have to take the decisions. I have continued with the same staff which was there, but I have not continued with the promoters. So you have the choice to continue with the same company because you will pay that company's staff also from the, because whatever the amount was due earlier, this will be treated as a claim. But when you are running as an operation and this company is ongoing, then you are eligible and your cost will be paid over and above. First, you will get the preference over the payment. Whenever some realization there, you will get your fees. You will make the payment to the staff first. And then if some amount is left out, then it will be distributed to the financial creditors as per the procedure. Section 53 is there. They have given the procedure. So there is no problem as such. So there are consultancy job is there. As a resolution professional, you can prepare the resolution plan. I have prepared many resolution plan. Many companies for that. There is information memorandum also. This is a very tedious job for the information memorandum. Then drafting of the public notice. You have to appoint I appointed so many cost accountants for this job only. But that amount was paid from the company, not from my fees. Okay. So this is, leverage is there. Likewise, if you are appearing on behalf of the this client, you can appear on behalf of the client as in a committee of creditors also. On behalf of the client, you can present this case and you will get this amount. There is no need to become as an insolvency professional, as a chartered accountant, cost accountant or CS. You can appear.
But then, so the question comes: how do I get the clients?
Client is, there are 2 ways. First is if you are already having the client and they approach you that they are not, because bank nowadays impaneling the IP, this SBI, Bank of Baroda, if you have seen there is impanelment procedures. So once they are impaneled, then they ask for the quotations. Earlier the quotation was not there. So now banks are there. There is second procedure is IBBI itself impanel you as a IP. Your list will be sent to the NCLT. Whenever this application is admitted, your name will be there from that list itself. First preference will be there. Who is the oldest one? Who is not having the work, but he is still waiting for that. First name will be there. Out of the list, you will be selected like we have selected from the list. So there is procedures available. Many things, because I was not able to present my what are the opportunities are available for the CMAs. So there are lot many opportunities. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Can I just add to
yes, madam. Yes.
What you said? Actually, there's also a big opportunity for the CMAs who are having COPs and who are not having COPs to get involved in this IBC.
Need of COP, no?
Yeah, it's not required.
Not required.
But if one has to do a transactional audit, I think so COP.
For that, they don't. And then actually,
it is better because the COC otherwise.
There is opportunity for this your audit also.
Yeah.
Because a chartered accountant statutory audit is there. If you the forensic audit there, many of our CMAs.
First, they start with the transaction audit.
They can,
And if the
this is
transaction auditor-
either you can say the transaction audit or the forensic audit. This is the same
transaction
thing.
audit is for the last 2 years, and forensic audit is for the last 5 years. But it's only when the transactional auditor recommends for a forensic audit, then only forensic audit takes place.
If you
But for
establish
that-
yourself as a forensic auditor, then
Yes,
they will
I have
approach you
done.
for not only for one, many cases.
Yeah.
Many cases.
And also as a consultancy, as you were saying, there are many of our colleagues who are already IPs, and they hire you as a consultant. For that, you do not have to have a COP also.
Yes, yes.
I worked like a consultant
yes.
for quite a number of years with the IPs.
Okay. So you have gone, when I presented that time you have taken the tips.
And also one more thing, that is the pre-insolvency resolution plan. That is for the MSMEs. There, what Sir said, the resolution plan is being given by the company. By the company. Yeah.
You can prepare for that company only.
Yeah.
There is no need to IP.
So for that, if the company approaches you, you can do the resolution plan
Yes.
on behalf. For that, you don't have to be an IP.
Actually, we
So
are not
to
aware
have
about the
the essence-
opportunity. That's the thing.
Yeah, to have the essence of IBC, if you are involved in this type of work first, I think so that will give you a better idea. Yes.
So if my presentation was
But-
perfectly went okay, then you would have thought that from tomorrow you will not work as a cost auditor, you will go for this consultancy work only. So now I induce you to become the insolvency professional. Take it. Not induce, I will say the motivate you. Thank you so much for giving me the time. Okay.
The mic.
बंद कर दो इसको.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful presentation. So, we have concluded the technical session. May I now request CMA Dr. Kaushik Banerjee, sir, Secretary, ICMAI, to present memento to Shri Subroto Mukherjee, former Additional CVO, State Bank of India. Thank you, sir. I would again request, sir, to present memento to CMA J.K. Budhi Raja, sir, CEO, ICMAI, MARF. Thank you, sir. I would request our Secretary, sir, CMA Dr. Kaushik Banerjee, sir, for the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Very good evening. I thank the BFSI board, ICMAI, under chairmanship of CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, for organizing the first hybrid event by BFSI board since the new council took over in July 23. I am thankful to our Honorable President, CMA Ashinji Dalwadi, and our Honorable Vice President, CMA Bibi Nayak, and other BFSI board members and all council members for their continuous guidance and support for conducting this type of programs. I am thankful to CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, Chairman BFSIB, for conceiving the idea of organizing this physical event at HQ Kolkata in a hybrid mode. I take the pleasure to acknowledge the kind presence of our honorable past presidents, CMA Horijivan Banerjee, CMA Amal Kumar Das, and CMA Mohesh Shah. And as well as I also thank the presence of CMA Avijit Datta, Chairman PD Committee of EIRC. I thank our honorable speakers, Sri Subroto Mukherjee, former additional CVO, SBI, and CMA J.K. Budhiraja, CEO, ICMI MRF, for their enriching presentation in the technical sessions. The technical sessions coverage in detection, prevention, and protection of frauds in banks, along with CMAs as insolvency professional, were explained exhaustively in their presence. Thank you very much, and I think a lot of interest must have been taken by all those who are present here to enter into this profession. I thank the BFSI department for organizing the event in both online and physical mode. I am thankful to the various departments and employees for providing support services to the for making today's event successful, like our administration department, IT department, CEP department, etc. Finally, I wish all the participants and their family members a very happy festive seasons greetings for Christmas and a very happy New Year 2024. Thank you all very much.
Thanks to our speakers, past presidents, participants, members, both online and offline, who made this event such a successful one. I would request the participants at our auditorium to please fill up the feedback form and also collect the food packet from outside. Yes, I am mentioning that. To please collect the food packet from outside. And wishing all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year filled with health, wealth and joy. So we are concluding the program for today.